Hey Lee, can you hear me okay? Figured I'd just click on early. I don't plan to be on very long tonight, but can you hear me okay? Ouch. Girl, the whole vitamin fell out. That's what it looks like anyway. Mm, I found some clips. Okay, good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Whew, it is so cold out. Cold, cold, cold. Cold and not fun. One of those. I'm so sick of wintertime and it's just now got here. Blah. Go away, winter. What have you been up to today? Anything? I'm still getting set up here. I'll be just a second. There we go. Hey, Rena. Good to see you. Good to see you, Rena. Yeah, I slept off and on all day too. I'm just sick of the cold, man. Like it's killing my back and my shoulder. Ugh. But I found some stuff that is like concerning, I guess you would say. Um, happening all over the country, and I don't really see a lot of it on mainstream media. So I started digging and found some clips. Excuse me. I wanted to share with everybody. Um, yeah, Rena, I feel you. This week is it's just so cold. It happens so fast. There's snow on the ground. It just keeps coming. Hey, Kimberly K1, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Is it cold where you're at too? I don't. I don't remember it ever being like this. I just don't. I remember it kind of gradually getting cold, and then it was just cold. Now it's just freezing cold all the time. Oh, I was on mute. This will be the last of the first holidays without your son. Oh man, I know how difficult that is for sure. Very, very heartbreaking and difficult. Um, the first, let's see, I'll tell you the first year of holidays, we did everything the same as normal everywhere we went and the times and the places and just all of the stuff. We didn't really change it up. And then I learned for everyone else that we used to share the holidays with, it was like the big elephant in the room was who was not there. And so the second year, let me cough, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm still fighting this cold. So the second year, what we did was we changed up all of our traditions. And then it was like people were able to maybe enjoy at least being together a little bit. And it was still obviously had its sad moments, but it wasn't, we weren't focused around the person that was not there, which made it a lot easier for us to, celebrate, spend time together, be together, because we weren't so focused on, Cody not being there. Um, I learned that, but you have to do what's good for you and your family and your people, and just know that we're here for you if things get a little bit too much, or if you feel like you want to talk some things through or just feel like that you need to be heard. Because holiday seasons are also the worst time for those that are grieving to feel like, we're not isolated and alone. Holidays are pretty known to throw us into isolation. It's a reminder that, what we've lost. It's a reminder that we're not the same person that the people around us are expecting us to be. And it kind of hits us like you know, hits us in the face, and it's difficult. So whatever you have to do in order to make it at least enjoyable, which sounds terrible. I mean, how do you enjoy a holiday without the most important people with you? I get it. It's sad. It's heart-wrenching, and it's like reliving trauma all over again. I gave up on some of my family members ever accepting that it's just me. Kind of makes you feel like you're not good enough or, something like that. And I just don't celebrate holidays anymore at all. So I will be here on whatever holidays, whatever days that you celebrate. And if you want me to stay live all day and you could pop in and out, all you got to do is let me know and I'll do it. Hey, Sleuth Mom, good to see you. I was just watching the updates with um, the Idaho. I don't even know. I don't want to say murders, but that's kind of what they are. I was just watching your update on that. It's kind of actually a few days ago. That's kind of what kind of put my eyes onto the stuff that I have for tonight. Sleuth Mom's always got good content, keeps it straight to the facts, presents it, not trying to solve it. Oh, I really enjoy her channel. Yeah, it's horrific. I just can't. Is it true, Sleuth Mom, that one of those that were killed is a triplet or a twin? I think I read that somewhere. Spent Thanksgiving with Amelia in the hospital. She passed away December 2nd. God love you, Kimberly. All the dates are coming up. It's been kind of yeah, right before the holidays. It's like extra memories. I've been kind of how do I say this? So last summer there's a group of crazies that went on the attack based on suspicion alone. And they really doxed the shit out of me and my son. Sent emails. It was horrible. Couldn't get away from it everywhere I went. They followed me from chat to chat, and there were, um, it's just a big, large group, and they would just derail the chat. They would bring attention in the chat, which is not fair to content creators when they're covering important topics. And so I just kind of went MIA for a while. Well, there's been a situation with another content creator that's being dragged through the mud right now. I don't really know a lot of the details because I wasn't around when that situation happened, but I was seen in her chat, and so somehow I'm affiliated with this situation with her. I know it's pretty vague, but so when they started going in on her again, I'm somehow attributed to her situation. And so now they've come back out in full force on me. And so it's almost to the point where I'm going to have to address it, which I've tried really hard not to do because, if you feed the wolves, they come back for more. And I don't like, I'm not going to, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to have people demand things of me that are not their business. And so, yeah, I lurk in the chats and stuff like that again at the channels that I like to visit and I enjoy their content. But I don't feel it's right for me to be seen like in your chat because there would be several of them coming at one time and just go to town. with saying stuff, bringing up other content creators, accusations, allegations, just crazy, absolute insane craziness. And so that's where I've been. Just kind of, it's like a tight rope to walk, the whole Jim Terry thing. It's about that bad. Sometimes it's worse just because they go for the one thing that, um, the most important thing to me, my son's memory. They go for that, and it puts me in a whole nother mood. So I'm at the point where I'm gonna have to expose, and um, I'm almost at that point because ignoring them just doesn't shut them up. But for some reason, I'm grouped in together with the other situation, and it baffles my mind because I truly had not only nothing to do with it, but I wasn't even around at that time. So they're out there, man, and it's people that just want to be right. It's not about truth or doing the right thing. It's about being right, being first, being the winner kind of thing. It's like another form of tragedy pimping, in my opinion. Kimberly K, I got your email. I got it late last night, and I have reply started. I was waiting on a couple of downloads to send to you. So thank you for that. And pictures are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Hey, Lise. Lise is my hero. Good to see you. Um, Good to see you, Lise. I hope you're doing okay with a lot of stuff. If I would like to, I have a list of things because of all of this crazy conspiracy crap that's going on. I was I want to get with Lisa and Lee to show you guys the new stuff just so you can be on the lookout because it's getting kind of crazy again. Um, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't hide who I am. I never have. I don't have any reason to, but they do. So it's kind of like, what the hell, man? Exactly. That's the thing. Whenever they start demanding stuff, you can show it, but they're gonna they're gonna say and do what they want with it. But I don't want to give it any attention right now. It's almost to the point I'm gonna have to address it, which is gonna be ugly. But for now, I was watching Sleuth Mom. I've been following Sleuth Mom's coverage of the 4 students in Idaho that were found murdered. So let me first, I want to grab her link because that's where I'm getting coverage. I'm Sleuth Mom, and then if she's not available, there's another channel, and I'll pull that one too. And I strongly encourage you, if you want to follow this specific case and what's going on with it, I encourage you to go to Sleuth Mom, or I'll pull the other channel up and get your information there because there's not a whole lot of going down, the rabbit holes and doing things that are just completely not right, not okay. There's not very many channels I've seen doing that. So there's Sleuth Mom. And then, yeah, do that, Rena. Please do. Absolutely. Let me pull up. I guess Icke Mel's covering it too, but he's not really been going live a whole lot lately. Okay. And then here's the other channel. It's called Burden of Proof. And I found her channel through Sleuth Mom. So here's the link for that. So I highly recommend either of those 2 channels. And I believe that they work together quite a bit too, friendly with one another. There's no competition, which also means a lot nowadays when it comes to this kind of stuff. But so anyway, I don't want to be on really late tonight. But after watching Sleuth Mom a couple of days ago, um, and then on the news, somewhat local to me, but in the state of Ohio, there was, yeah, she is. I really like her coverage too. You guys are very similar, which is kind of, you don't really find 2 creators that are that are that similar. Yeah, I agree. The chemistry between you guys work really good together. Um, but what I found was a lot of there's this crazy stuff. I'm trying to pull it up that's going on around the country right now, and it's not really being shown. And I think it's something, especially the holiday season. I think it's something that we all should be looking out for and paying attention to. Um, of course, we all know that there's dangers out and about around us, but it just seems to be really bad right now. So I want to show you guys some clips um, of what I found. And so I was shocked, you guys, I was shocked. I just thought, I was like, what the heck is going on? I don't get this. So let me screen share real quick. Burden Proof is absolutely amazing. She's very happy. She's never in a bad mood, just like Sleuth Mom. They're so similar. They're very, very similar. Yeah, if you email it to me, I'm kind of afraid to branch out, to be honest. If you recommend it to me, that's different. But I'm very leery of branching out anymore because it seems like right about the time that you think, you know, like I've watched Sleuth Mom long enough to know she has not changed. She is the same across the board. But a lot of other channels, it's like after a while, another side of them pops out or something. I don't know. I'm just not enjoying as much as I used to be. Okay, she's gonna play this stinking ad.
That best reflects your brand.
These are news clips.
Just go to Wix Logo Maker.
And just narrowly escaping an alleged abductor.
Oh.
And now to a brave 6-year-old.
Can you guys hear that okay? I have several of these to show you because it's all across the country. But what I think is crazy is years ago, we didn't really hear about kidnappings happening that often. They're happening in broad daylight, in the middle of the city or town, no fear of being caught. And it's scary to me. I don't have children, but I'm constantly watching out now. So because of what's going on in Idaho, it makes me think about the possibilities to, with anybody. I want you to see how brazen some of these people have been.
A girl who knew what to do when a man grabbed her in front of her Ohio home. Her family's home surveillance camera caught the attempted abduction and her escape. Her family spoke to ABC News. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the video and reaction from the girl and her family.
With a piercing scream, doing what she was taught to do, 6-year-old Kennedy Nash just narrowly escaping an alleged abductor. The 6-year-old and her parents speaking exclusively to ABC News.
This guy walked by and he touched me and he told me.
The Ohio family surveillance camera caught it all. You can see Kennedy just steps from her front door when a stranger suddenly grabs her and tries to walk away with her.
This to me is absolutely crazy. Clearly, their house sits close to the road. I mean, you could look through the neighbors across the street's windows, for goodness sakes. The little girl is literally right outside of her front door. And oh, wait till you see some of these ones. I probably should put a trigger warning up. Oh, they didn't from Florida. I don't know if I have that one. But these ones are all this year. All the ones that I have. And then I have some attempted kidnappings on that were caught on video. And then I also have forced break-ins. People, it's like gang activity in big cities and in smaller cities. They haven't said that it's gang activity yet, but they're following people from shopping, from stores, from the post office, following you to your home and trying to bust their way into your house. It's crazy to me. This little girl is literally feet from her front door. Thank God she screamed. Thank the Lord that she knew to raise a ruckus. God only knows what could have possibly happened. I don't even want to think about it. But
he wouldn't have let go of her if she wouldn't have pulled and screamed like she did.
The whole encounter lasting less than 10 seconds. As Kennedy pulled away and screamed, the man quickly letting go. Kennedy then running inside for help. Her dad, Ricky, jumping into his car. following the man while on the phone with authorities.
I chased him like he still had my kid. I definitely didn't want him to be able to go snatch another kid.
Police later arresting 33-year-old Derek McPherson. He's in jail and charged with abduction and inappropriate grabbing. The Nashes say they talk with their 4 girls about how to fight off an attacker, never imagining they'd need to put that lesson into practice.
I'm so proud of her, because as soon as she screamed, he let go. So obviously, it does work.
Over 83% of the time.
Okay, there's this one. Then, okay. Then we have this one. Yes, thank God the dad followed. Thank God she screamed. Thank God she was close to home. Thank God her parents have taught her to scream and to make a ruckus. I mean, this is just, it was so eye-opening for me because I do have that one. Sleuth Mom, I think I do. A girl walking to school, a guy tried to kidnap her 2 separate days. They got him on camera the second time. I believe I do have that one. I believe I do. I mean, I have several of them. Most of them, I think there's only a couple of them that are last year, but these are all this year. This is all this year, all across the country this year. Okay, this is Chicago.
Bold but smooth till the end.
Sorry about the ads, guys. I had to cancel my premium membership.
Man is in custody, and this is after an attempted kidnapping that was captured on video in broad daylight.
Yeah, the hard reality is you can never take your eyes off your kids. Joni's live at Police HQ with details. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, that arrest came after the surveillance video was released. You saw it right here on Good Day Chicago last week. Apparently, someone recognized the person in the video and turned him in. 25-year-old Gerardo Posadas is now charged with 2 felony counts.
These guys look normal. You know what I mean? They look like normal young men. They don't stand out and look freaky, not all of them.
Aggravated battery in a public place and attempt aggravated kidnapping under 13 years old. Police say he's the man seen bothering a woman walking with her 5-year-old daughter. She told police the man offered her money for her daughter, and when she tried to walk away, he grabbed the girl's hair and tried to take her, and then he ran away. This happened at about noon last Thursday in the busy Fullerton Avenue area in Belmont-Cragen. The woman followed up with police giving a detailed description, and then she identified him in a photo lineup, and Posadas was charged. He did already have a preliminary hearing, but it's not known if he was able to post bond to get out of jail on electric monitoring. Reporting live.
So he was captured. They did catch him. But broad daylight, walking with her mother. And that's how we're not when we think about kidnapping, this is what came to my mind. We're not talking about 10 years ago or 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. We're talking about broad daylight, the middle of town, don't care about cameras. It's just insane. Hi, Language of Horses. Good to see you. All of these trafficking busts lately are leaving those creeks looking for kids. Absolutely. I have one of those in here too, where a trafficking ring almost got away with a young girl. And it's just, to me, it's insane, crazy. This is a 16-year-old. This is in Akron. Not all of them are Ohio. I got them from all over the country. But this is a 16-year-old girl at a bus stop. Check this out.
Mommy, somebody just tried to take me. Horrified. It just brought tears to my eyes.
Hey, Progressive Patriot. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in.
A
mother terrified after a stranger tried to abduct her 16-year-old daughter.
This happened in East Akron on Arlington Street near Neville Avenue, where the girl waited for a bus. A nearby surveillance video capturing the stunning and scary struggle on camera. But as News 5's Bob Jones shows us, that girl was able to find a way to escape.
She's a junior.
Early Friday morning, this Akron mother who doesn't want her face shown answered a FaceTime call from her terrified 16-year-old daughter.
She said, Mommy, she FaceTimed me and said, Mommy, somebody just tried to take me.
Scary surveillance video along Arlington Street captured what happened as the Firestone High School student waited for an Akron Metro bus. Around 6:30 a.m., a stranger approached. Police say he took her phone, put her in a barrel.
Hey, Unseen True Crime. Good to see ya. Like, this is literally broad flipping daylight. This poor girl, there's a guy walking here, traffic coming by. There's no fear of being caught. It's just, to me, insane.
Her hug and tried to drag her to a car. You can see the struggle.
He grabbed her from behind. He had his entire hands over a hold of her like this, and he kept yanking her, trying to get her.
But the girl held on desperately to a fence. Police say the stranger tried to lure her by holding out her phone before tossing it at her. She then ran onto a bus, and officers say the would-be abductor took off in this white Ford Mustang.
It's scary to think of what could have happened. We don't know what his intentions were. We can guess at that, but thank God that whatever his intentions were, he wasn't able to follow through with it.
Police say the girl's decision to grab onto the fence and scream may have prevented.
Exactly, Progressive Patriot. That's why I went through, these are all this year. There's a couple of them from last year. And in my opinion, there's a huge change in these attempted kidnappings and kidnappings. And so for true crime creators, it used to be that abductions, kidnappings it was said that, somebody that is known to the family or somebody that they know. But these are complete strangers in broad flipping daylight with no fear. That's why I pulled these, Progressive, was because to me it says a lot about, crimes against children. I have several of these. Let me show you. Okay, this is Chicago. Again, I'm really sorry about the ads,
What a job that I don't.
but I couldn't justify paying any more for it.
Attempted kidnapping that was captured on video in broad daylight.
Yeah, the hard reality is you can never take your eyes off your kids. Joni's live at Police HQ with details. Good morning.
Anyone's kids.
Good morning. Well, that arrest came after the surveillance video was released. You saw it right here on Good Day Chicago last week. Apparently, someone recognized the person in the video and turned him in. 25-year-old Gerardo Posadas is now charged with 2 felony counts.
Sorry, guys, we just watched this one. Okay, this is a little boy, Philadelphia. This is a little boy who made his way into a store and told the store clerk, a woman, here's another thing coming out. I didn't know if you heard me or not, Unseen True Crime, but good to see you. Another trend that I'm seeing with kidnappings from this year, last year, are women are trying to lure the children away so that they can be kidnapped. This is an example. It's a little boy.
Members of the community and police are singing the praises of a 10-year-old boy and a 17-year-old girl for foiling what appeared to be an attempted kidnapping in
Mind Blair. Oh,
Pottstown on Friday. Action News reporter John Paul is live at Pottstown Police with that story tonight.
Yeah.
John?
Hi, in the
Jim
bushes.
just got off the phone with police a few minutes ago. They tell me they have located the woman involved in all this. Now, the 10-year-old boy was walking just down the street. He was walking home on Friday when he says the woman tried to lure him away.
That day when I was watching that video, I cried every time I saw it.
This is the video that made Sam Green cry. His 10-year-old son, Sammy, is at the top of the screen and was being followed by a woman on Friday.
Said that she probably knew me and she was going to Wawa and that he was supposed to go with her and he can get anything he wanted.
But Sammy wasn't going to fall for it. He knew exactly what to do. His dad taught him how to act in a situation like this. So he walked inside of a store that he was familiar with. It's called Danny Be Funky, just down the street from his house. We talked to the owner.
He felt comfortable enough to come on in here, and he came right around the corner to where Hannah was, and he whispered in her ear.
You can see it on the video. He walks to the store clerk and leans in. We found out what he said.
He said, to act like you're my mom, this lady's following me.
After processing what was going on, you see her get between Sammy and the woman who was still holding the door open. She walks over, pulls it shut, and then locks it. The woman runs off. Sammy is now safe. The owner and Sammy's dad aren't sure what the woman was trying to do, but they know that Sammy and the clerk both did the right thing.
He just knew something was not right and did what he needed to do.
He did what he was supposed to do because he didn't know the person.
Yeah, police are saying the same thing tonight when I talked to him a few minutes ago. They're praising the boy for his quick actions, also for remaining so calm during all this. Now, they said they did locate the woman involved here. They tell me that she's now being referred for mental health help. In Pottstown, John Paul.
Guys, that's just crazy to me. That's just crazy. Here is a 10-year-old from Utah. And I'll catch up with chat. Oh, so many ads, y'all.
That house over there. I started walking home and there's two guys in the car.
Looking back,
They said hi and then I started walking faster.
it seems surreal.
They said get in the back seat, we have some candy.
Strangers in a white four-door sedan following Graydon's every step as he walked home.
They ran right here and I just ran right there.
You can see tense moments caught on his family's doorbell camera. Staying vigilant, he watched their car.
And then I peeked my head out and then they were they were literally like right in front of that little thing.
But when he tried to go in, locked.
I thought I was gonna be kidnapped.
Oh,
You can
man.
hear it in his voice. Panic.
Bless
I
his
picked
heart.
up rocks and I was holding them like this and I was gonna throw them, but if they got any closer, I was gonna throw them.
Graydon finally found safety inside of his neighbor's home.
The door was open, so I just ran in and I closed the door and I locked it.
But the creeps didn't leave, waiting for minutes in a neighbor's driveway.
It was very real.
In the aftermath, his entire family is on edge.
We've been here for 14 years, and to have it happen on your front doorstep literally it's an eye-opener.
Emotionally, they're all a little traumatized by what happened.
He was scared to death.
But all they can do now is hope this doesn't happen to someone else.
Less than 200 feet. I mean, if kids can't walk 2 doors down at 6 o'clock at night, I mean, that's scary. Hopefully we can find them.
Graylon's parents have reported the incident to Riverton police. They say they're taking it very seriously.
Excuse me. Sleuth Mom probably has seen the majority of these, but I also have some home invasions that I want to show you because again, we're not talking about people who, you know, are hiding under the cover of darkness. This might be the one that you're talking about, Sleuth Mom, maybe.
An attempted kidnapping caught on camera. Tonight, investigators are searching for the suspect. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Bell.
Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Matt Austin. It happened at 8 this morning near Azalea Park Elementary at Cimarron Boulevard.
8 a.m., 8 in the morning. This is mind-boggling to me.
Boulevard and Dahlia Drive. News 6's Troy Campbell is there tonight with details.
This is the exact spot where deputies say the suspect approached the child Monday morning. Thankfully, this surveillance camera was on and recording, capturing the suspect on video. The Orange County Sheriff's Office says Monday morning, the man seen in this video attempted to kidnap a child near Cimarron Boulevard and Dahlia Drive. In the video time-stamped 7:34 a.m., you see the suspect approach the child and appears to put his hands on the victim before walking out of frame. Carla Aguirre owns the restaurant where the video was taken from their drive-through lane.
Well, when they called me, I think it was the deputy, called me that they need the camera, so I was still home. So I said, I'm heading there right now because they tried to kidnap a child. That's what they said to me.
Aguirre says she's thankful her surveillance cameras were recording.
I said it was a blessing because 2 weeks ago, a set of cameras went down that we're going to replace now, but they're still working 2 sets.
Aguirre says a second camera captured this image of the suspect's white Toyota RAV4. She says several of her employees who have children started calling each other to check their kids were okay following the frightening kidnapping attempt.
to me, this guy looks like a dad taking his kid to school or something, you know? I mean, we're not talking about the same type of criminals and attempted kidnappings as even 2.5, 3 years ago. It's just mind-boggling to me. Let me show you one more. I'll catch up with chat, and then I want to show you. I'll have to put a trigger warning up for the others because, man. Let's see. I think it's this one. Okay, I want to give you a trigger warning on this one, if you don't mind, Lee or Lise. This is like worst case scenario for kidnapping outside of the child being found deceased or something. This one is quite triggering and very sad. Very sad. It's a little bit longer, almost 3 minutes, but sexual assault does take place in broad
Chicago
daylight.
police after an 11-year-old girl was dragged into an alley and then sexually abused.
This happened in Washington Park, and Nate Rogers spoke exclusively with the victim's mother. He joins us now live with the details. Nate?
Yeah, that's right, Sal and Anthony. Very disturbing scene here, very disturbing details here. As you just mentioned, we just spoke to the mom. Mom very much shaken up at this time. Her daughter, 11 years old, also shaken up. Look at the video we just shot for you. I want to set the scene for you before you hear from the mom. This happened literally not too far from where the girl lives, but also about 2 blocks away from her school. Within the last hour or so, we spoke to dozens of parents whose children walk to and from school in this community. Now, according to police, this situation happened yesterday, what they described as an attempted kidnapping. It happened yesterday here at 62nd in Indiana, just around 3:30 p.m. The mom telling us exclusively that as her daughter was coming home, getting ready to literally head into the house, she was approached by this man, a man that she'd never seen before. And here's what the mom explained to me in terms of how this situation happened.
Grabbed her by her mouth, dragged her to the back of here of ComEd, proceeded to take her clothes off. In the middle of him taking her clothes off, his phone rang. He answered it. And she kicked him and took off running. She ran home with her bra on and her school pants, no shoes, no none of that.
Oh my God. As a mom, just hearing what your daughter went through, I don't even have the words.
I feel like crap. I felt like it was my fault because I normally pick her up from school, but yesterday I didn't pick her up.
Now, police were able to put out a very detailed description of the suspect, described as an African-American male, 45 to 60 years old, 5'8" to 5'10", a thin build, gray hair with a mustache or a goatee. The offender was wearing a black shirt. Apparently, the right sleeve of his shirt was ripped. Black jeans, also a silver belt buckle, and his shoes, apparently some black boots, which apparently were beat up. Now, again, mom telling us her daughter was able to break away from that suspect, or from her attacker, excuse me, as all of this was going on. The mom saying that his phone happened to ring during all of this, and that's how the girl was able to scream and then break away from all this. Again, right now, Chicago police working to track down that suspect. That is the latest here on the city's south side. Nate Rogers, Fox 32, Chicago.
It's very true, unseen. I'm not sure, the price to pay for it. It seems ridiculous. I wanted to show these. I have another set of home invasions that I want to show you because, again, I'm just going to keep saying it. I feel like it has crimes, criminal behaviors, that kind of. It's just gotten to a point of like no fear of consequences, in my opinion, the way that these people are going crazy. But I agree with you, Unseen. It is terribly sad, and she absolutely deserves her privacy. I just really hope that her classmates and the school in general is respects that privacy. But can you believe that? I mean, most of these from what I've noticed by going through and grabbing different clips, most of these are when kids are on their way to school or on their way home from school, waiting for the bus, getting off the bus. So, I mean, I don't know if it's a matter of people paying attention to their schedules, if they just know. To me, it's just it's baffling, Like I said, years ago, even 5, 6, 7 years ago, statistics would show that most kids were abducted by somebody that knows them, somebody from their family or a family friend or somebody who knows them. These are complete strangers that are snatching these kids right off the streets. It's terribly frightening. Whether you have kids or not, should all be on the lookout for kids. Exactly, Patriot, to take a phone call. And that could be what saved her. I mean, we don't know what his intentions were after, his initial. I mean, it's just sad. It's just absolutely insane to me how random, how there's, you know, we have like I have cameras all around my house. And so it's like a level of safety whenever you put those cameras up because you can see everything going on outside of your home. But to me, it almost felt like it took that level of safety away. Watching these, especially the next group, it took that level of safety away because the people that are praying are no longer afraid of those cameras. And to me, that's the most shocking thing about this is there's no fear. And honestly, yes, get cameras on your home. You never know when a crime can happen in your neighborhood that police may need your videos. Absolutely. 100%. I could not agree with that more. Absolutely. If it's going to happen, you want to be able to have some type of, video, photo, something for police to go on the chase. But cameras and Amazon, I should pull some of those up. I was looking on Amazon. Hey, Ageless Beauty. Good to see you. Thanks so much for stopping in. I appreciate you. And yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Like Elise says, if you're feeling uncomfortable with these clips, take a break for a while and come back, especially the next set. The next set of clips, especially. I do not want to cause anybody any kind of relive trauma or uncomfortable anything at all. I just want you to be aware because when, with this going on in Idaho, I don't know, I was watching Sleuth Mom cover it and then I went through my local news and I thought, oh my gosh, it just made me, I just went on the search, finding them. And I thought, I really want people to know. Oh, here's burden of proof. We dropped your link earlier for the Idaho case right now. You and Sleuth Mom. Hey, checking convictions. It's really good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. And yes, I agree. We all need to do our part and stay alert because these people are doing these acts in daylight with no fear. Absolutely. I don't have children living, but I am absolutely so much more aware of the dangers going on. And I will now be standing on my front porch when kids are walking to and from school and praying that nothing happens to any of the children in this area. It's just terrible. Children are preyed on. Women are preyed on. It's just so sad. I don't know. I'm shook because of this. I've spent a couple of days kind of going through grabbing clips and stuff from news sources. And I'm shook to the core at how unsafe it is, how we have a false sense of security in some situations right now. But more importantly for our children, our children are just, it's insane. I have some more I can show, but I want to get to the home invasions also that I have. And these are this year, last year, and I believe there's a couple that are a couple of years older, but for the most part, they're all new. So I put the trigger warning up for this because this can be This can be very triggering, and it's not my intention at all. The world is not what it used to be. Absolutely. You have a son in college and we're every day. Yes, if shootings in his schools everywhere. Absolutely. I agree with you. I have a nephew that starts college next year, and yeah, I'm worried about that. That reminds me, I'm going to write down because I found on Amazon a company that makes backpacks that have Kevlar on the inside, different forms of Kevlar to make it bulletproof. And then there's videos where they've shown like experiments with it as far as like, being shot. Hey, Jingle 78. Thanks for stopping in. Good to see you. Hi, Miss Seal. How are you? Good to see ya. Bought your daughter a taser that attaches to her finger. Probably a good idea as long as she don't tase herself, Lee. Don't let her tase herself. I may or may not have been tased by a taser in order to carry. You had to have it used on you. And my dumb ass, I want one. And they are not fun. They hurt. Good to see you too. Absolutely. Let's see. And the blankets that teachers were hanging on the walls as well. I've not saw those or seen those yet. I've not seen those, but I'll definitely look for those. But yeah, let me write that down. We ordered my nephew's and made him promise that he would use it whenever he goes to college. Because yeah, you're right, it's pretty predominant. All right, let me pull up the next set. And I definitely want to make sure that there is a good, people understand the trigger warning behind it. Oh, that's neat. I did not know that. I have not heard of that, but that is probably one of the neatest things I've heard of. For sure. All right. Let me swap out earbuds quick. Sleuth Mom covered a case, and I'm gonna probably sound like an idiot right now because for the life of me, this grief fog coming up is so bad. I cannot remember the little girl's name, but I believe she was found okay, but I have to remember. She was playing, there was a woman that was talking to her on a video game through video games and had convinced her to leave her home and had convinced her birth certificate and stuff too, if I remember correctly. Okay. Swapped those out. It might have been Kaylee Jones. It may have been Kaylee Jones. Gracie Mitchum, that's who it was. Gracie Mitchum. Yeah, that one. I'm gonna have to find that one. Let me make a note of that to put up on. I'll drop, if you don't care, I'd like to drop a couple links to your Gracie Mitchum videos, because that one, that was another that's like, a woman is luring children out of their homes via video games, internet access, whatever you want to call it, and then to take their documents, birth certificates, like, to take them with them. And it's just scary, the potential for it. It's just scary to think about. Gracie Mitchum, I wrote that down. But to get a true example or to see real life, this is what happens and all of the details of that. Actually, Sleuth Mom, can I mod you? And would you mind dropping links to those videos if you don't care? You'll know which ones are the best ones for people to see how, this is what's going on in real world, if you don't mind. I think people should see that. I think people should see how this stuff is happening, and it's not talked about on mainstream media, and that's what pisses me off the most. Is they're not putting all of this stuff out so that we can protect kids. It's almost like open season on children, and in some cases women, and it's just mind-boggling. Okay, I have the trigger warning going, but I'm going to say again, these can be tough to watch. These can be 100% tough to watch. They're home invasions on video, and of course they're violent. And I really had to think about this one. But at the end of the day, being able to prepare yourself is more important than not knowing. That's my opinion. Okay, so let me pull these up. Let me screen share these. Sorry, bear with me. I tried to be ready. Okay. Some of these are attempted kidnappings on women, and then it's going to go into the home invasions. Scary as shit. If you're like me and you're, not married, I have some tips for, at the end of this, I have some tips that I hope, I have tips that I use. Okay, so here's the first one. Comes from Chicago.
Hey, do you ever?
We'll get through the ad here.
In Chicago, a woman nearly abducted in broad daylight. And this morning, we're hearing from her exclusively.
Thank you,
Alex
Sleuth
Perez
Mom.
is in
I appreciate
Chicago
that
with
so
that.
much.
Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Michael. Authorities say this all unfolded very quickly. The woman who was almost kidnapped immediately started screaming and was able to get away. This morning, authorities in Chicago hunting for this suspect after a chilling attempted kidnapping caught on camera. Watch closely. The suspect, police say, in that minivan Sunday had moments earlier tried to kidnap a 45-year-old woman at this nearby park.
I hope you heard that. 45-year-old woman. We're not talking, a 20-year-old, 45-year-old woman.
The woman doesn't want to be identified, but she's speaking out this morning to GMA.
A gentleman comes out of his van and starts walking towards me, and then I realized something wasn't right, and I started clipping it a little faster, and then he grabbed me.
She says the alleged kidnapper grabbed her arm and tried to shove her in the van. That's when Thomas James, a passenger in that sedan, and Jonetta Henderson, his Lyft driver, tried to help.
So I'm screaming. He's pulling me towards the van. I'm at the door. I'm grabbing the door. He's knocking my head against the door, trying to knock me out.
I got out of the passenger side door and started yelling at the assailant, just laugh. Hey, he was distracted or flustered enough that the potential victim here was able to free herself and get away.
That's when Jonetta tried to block the minivan, but it got away.
In case he got her in the vehicle, I wanted to block the van so he couldn't get away at that time with her in there.
Still shaken, the woman who was nearly kidnapped grateful.
Okay, so she's standing up here, and so that's why we don't see her down here anywhere. Burden of proof. I did not know that. I hope you guys don't think I'm doing this for any nefarious reason. I hear content creators say all the time that they like to just go into, they like to just watch content and not mods. So I don't expect you guys to keep these at all. But would you mind dropping that video, dropping the link to that video also, and then that way we can share it? because I didn't know that at all. But that's important. Alicia Navarro also lured through a video game. She's autistic and still hasn't been found. My gosh. It's just insane. This guy was caught. They did capture him, and he's being charged. And so let me go back to some of the other ones. I mean, I have a ton of them. I'm going to make a playlist and stick them public because they're just, you guys, there's so many of these that it is insane. Okay, let me come up here to these. Kind of leads into the next set. Okay, Sleuth Mom, I believe, also covered this one here. And I know, I think Sleuth Mom covered it, maybe not. I know Ikidmel covered it. They did find him. He has been arrested, and he was at the time that he tried to kidnap this child, he worked at the hospital.
Your life depends on it. That's the message one Florida sheriff is sending to children statewide after a video captured a man trying to kidnap an 11-year-old girl at a bus stop. It happened in Pensacola, and Tarek Minor joins us now with the video after speaking with our crime and safety expert.
I mean, this happened in broad daylight. This young girl that you see here sitting at a bus stop when this man, armed with a knife, tries to take her literally away to his vehicle. The video is chilling. An 11-year-old girl waiting for her school bus when a man armed with a knife runs straight for her and tries to force her into his vehicle. The girl fights back and manages to get away, never allowing the kidnapper to get his arms around her. We showed crime and safety expert Ken Jefferson the video, who says her actions likely saved her life.
It's broad daylight. He probably had been riding around looking for a victim. And he saw this young lady sitting in this grassy knoll by herself, waiting on a bus. And he figured that it was the right opportunity. He wanted to make sure there was no traffic, there was no witnesses.
Escambia County Sheriff's deputies say 50 deputies scoured the neighborhood and within 8 hours identified the kidnapper, 30-year-old Jared Stenga, who didn't live far away from the scene of the crime. Deputies said the girl was playing with blue slime at the time of the kidnapping, a substance still stuck on Stenga's clothes and body when arrested.
You saw the blue goo, the slime that's on the suspect that the victim had. You're not kidding anyone. We know who you are. We know you're an animal. And we also know you're under arrest.
If she had just screamed and became a victim, he would have got her. But she decided that she wasn't going to be a victim that day. And she fought him off. And he had to get away because he was spending too much time.
Jefferson says kids should scream, scratch, gouge, claw, do whatever they can if this were to happen to them, offering this advice to parents on what to teach their children.
Teach your kids to do what this girl did. If they find themselves in a situation where somebody's trying to take them, you fight for your life. You just don't give in. You don't give up.
Now, deputies say 2 weeks ago that same man approached that same girl and made her feel uncomfortable, and she reported the incident to the school. The principal of the girl.
Let me go back and so we can hear this part.
You just don't give in. You don't give up.
Because he tried again. He tried before.
Now, deputies say 2 weeks ago that same man approached that same girl and made her feel uncomfortable, and she reported the incident to the school. The principal of the school told the child's parents, who walked her to school every day after that. Yesterday was the first day the girl went to the bus stop by herself. Mary?
Unreal.
Tell me that's not crazy. Broad daylight. Okay, guys. And anybody that's on the restream, there's links in the chat. Sleuth Mom and Burden of Proof are dropping for what we were talking about earlier. Alicia Navarro and Gracie Mitchum, their stories of how they were lured by a female from a video game. So I'm definitely going to watch those, probably grab some highlights from them and put them out there. I wish I knew how to eloquently present true crime stuff like you guys do, but I just don't. I'm just not good at it. I know I'm not. Okay, this one comes from Cape Town. This is going to lead into what I was talking about earlier. In big cities, they're attributing a lot of this to gang activity, but it's happening all over the place. Especially with holiday season. I mean, criminals are on us. Look at this. There's no way, there's no way that this wasn't planned or that these people, they had to be able to come from two directions. It's just crazy to me. Broad daylight. Oh, it says the men smash the driver's side window and the woman attempts to escape out the passenger door. Look, there's 4 grown men and her. She puts up a fight, but eventually the men push her inside one of the white vehicles. This is why I wanted, the trigger warning. Oh, it's just terrible. These animals. She manages to open the door in another attempt to escape. This is insane to me. Dynamite. Oh, good to see you, Dynamite. I'm sorry I didn't see you before. It's not really like a case anyone's covering or anything. This Cape Town, these are cameras. This is like forced break-ins, abductions, kidnappings, crime that's been caught on videotape, that's been caught on like ring door cams and business security cameras. And to me, it's eye-opening because it's broad daylight, Now, I would have thought that they were going to steal the vehicle, but they left the vehicle, and, they took the woman.
Yo, alat no di pas van die company. Het hulle nou se vrou gekidnap en uit die kar uit gevat. Hulle het haar nou gekidnap. Hy is seker vir ransom. Dis die baas van die plastic company. Se kar, sy vrou het die kar gery toe hulle agter toe kidnap hulle nou waar hier voor die factory.
These videos of masked men holding up the...
Go to the next one here. All right, so then, okay. Woman's carjacking, kidnapping. Yes. This one, these are teenagers in this video.
Our Cleveland station obtaining newly released video showing a woman being carjacked and kidnapped at the city's airport. Police say the 2 suspects are just 14 years old. Ed Gallick takes a closer look at the difficulty of finding justice in cases like this, even when the crime is caught on camera.
Absolutely, Dynamite.
2 teens stand outside Hopkins Airport. Then they get into a car, but not their car. They carjack a woman waiting for someone in the terminal. You see her blowing the horn as the robbers pull away. Now look, strangers scramble to help as the woman tries to get out of the car. But the carjackers pull her back in and take off. This happened back on Halloween, but the video just now released. The carjackers finally pushed the woman out of the car and drove away. So we did some digging to find out whatever happened to the suspects. Kids, 14 years old.
Ma'am, what's going on?
They stole my car.
Okay.
I was parked at the airport. I'm okay. I tried to find them.
Cleveland police eventually found the woman's car, and they also identified the teen suspects. But what's happened over the past 5 months shows how often kid criminals don't get brought to justice. In this case, just one teen has been convicted.
I know.
But the other teen still on the run, wanted, facing charges, but he can't be found. And look at what happened last year when we went to his address on court records.
I don't know anything about it, and I don't have anything to say. I'm gonna read you your rights, okay?
For a long time now, police and prosecutors have been calling on the juvenile justice system to get tough. This case shows finding suspects even in a violent crime caught on camera with witnesses, not always enough.
Which way did the car go?
That way.
You know the plate?
I can't.
It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you for watching.
So I'm very familiar with the Cleveland airport. I have flown in and out of Cleveland for years, many times. And what that video doesn't really show is how busy that street is where the van's parked at. Now, I think it's common sense that, you know, not victim shaming or anything like that, because there's absolutely zero reason to victim shame under any circumstances ever. It could be something as simple as she didn't think to lock the doors whenever whoever was driving got out. She's in the passenger seat. But because of this video, I'm more aware of that. If I'm in a car with somebody, passenger seat, and they get out, I will definitely make sure that the doors are locked, because of course there's cameras around a daggone airport, it's insane to me. Okay, this is the one I was telling you about, Sleuth Mom. 17-year-old escapes human trafficker, the shops of Legacy. Oh, I guess it's been taken down. Has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. Let me try it again.
Mashed potato lovers, your day has come. Indulge in.
It did not give me this warning the first time I watched it. And this is Miami, Florida.
New video into the CBS 4 newsroom showing the moment a woman was almost abducted from a Miami neighborhood in the middle of the night, and the heart-pounding terror was all caught on camera.
Hey.
Just take a look at the top center of your screen. Police say it shows a man approaching a woman along Northwest 19th Avenue and 4th Street in Miami. Seconds later, he lunges at her, putting her in a chokehold and trying to drag her away. After a brief struggle, the woman's screams got the attention of a neighbor who came out running. That's when the man ran off. Tonight, police are releasing this sketch of the accused attacker. Take a good look at it. If you recognize him,
I just saw this. Kristen Helms was a 14-year-old who was seduced by a 27-year-old predator. She eventually told her mom, but then when her parents were at church, she took her life. That is incredibly sad. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible. How heart-wrenching. Oh my gosh. You're welcome to drop that link in there too. All of them. I mean, it's so, my eyes are so open now. I can't ever unsee how dangerous it is out in the world, like right out in front of your own house. It's crazy. Husband, sister went head on into a semi. One passenger was thrown clear of the car. The other passenger was killed by the door opening and shutting on impact. That's terrible. I'm sorry, Unseen. I'm so sorry about that. It's just terrible. There's a lot of car accidents that are happening right now. Okay, so now we got here's where we're talking about the new trend.
In cities all over the country, the screech of stolen cars can be heard ripping through roads.
You see people running for their life up there, dude?
Terrorizing residents and catching the attention of police, who increasingly are chasing down teenagers following an online trend, stealing cars and posting videos of their joyrides.
It looks like they're grabbing cars,
just to whip them around violently through neighborhoods. What is going on?
Most of our offenders are between 14 and 17 years old. They look for a car to steal, to, yes, drive it around wildly.
As the trend explodes, police say two car makers consistently find themselves at the center of the thefts, Hyundai and Kia. Police and auto theft experts say it's not a coincidence. You're a thief. You walk up, you say, hey, here's a Hyundai.
Right.
What am I looking at to find out if this could be a vulnerable car?
First thing I do, I grab it. If it's open, I look in. It's got a keyhole. I'm done.
Experts say for years, keys in some Hyundais and Kias lacked a basic security feature called an engine immobilizer, a chip which helps the engine recognize the key, preventing theft. Thieves taking advantage of that, yanking down the steering column to access the ignition. Of the roughly 1,000 vehicles reported stolen in St. Louis last month, nearly 2/3 were Hyundai and Kia. In Milwaukee, Carol McFarland's beloved Kia Soul snatched from a parking garage.
She was my pride and joy, and she's not anymore.
In Florida, Jonathan Paris was victimized twice.
You buy a brand new car to be safe, and you think, okay, you're not gonna have any problems, and then you come out and your car's gone.
It's an issue both Hyundai and Kia say they have corrected in their most recent models. Besides making sure to lock your door, which police say is usually at the root of this, other options to stop thieves are limited. The steering wheel lock might be your best bet, but it's not exactly foolproof. This can move, and if I can move the wheel, so can thieves. Hyundai telling NBC News immobilizers became standard for cars produced after November 1st of last year, although those with older models can pay for a security fix starting in October. And Kia noting all 2022 models and trims have an immobilizer applied either at the beginning of the year or as a running change. But for many drivers, watching this frightening trend can cause panic for a problem accelerating to dangerous levels. Sam Brock, NBC News, Miami.
Now we'll get into home invasions. The passenger would have survived if the doors had been locked. Lock your doors. Absolutely. That's still so tragic, unseen. I'm sorry about that. That's just terrible. Grandmother passed away from the door coming back and breaking her neck. Oh my gosh. You guys, I haven't heard about anything like this. It's something that I never would have thought about. Ever. I'm so sorry, both of you guys. That's terrible. Yeah, so at one point in the beginning, it's like a Snapchat or Instagram that says the Kia boys have arrived. So, you know, and they're young, they're teenagers that are doing this. Was it? Apparently it's happening like all over the good. See, I don't have a habit of that unless I'm getting out of my car. I know not to unlock my doors until I'm at my car and I hit the button one time to unlock my door. But I haven't really thought about, you know, keeping your doors locked at all times. I mean, I will now. But yeah, 5 teenagers in that car TikTok challenge. And I can't believe it's, you know, it's a challenge, you know. Like it's, to me, it's just, it's insane crazy. Okay, now I want to show you what I found. This one rattled me to the core, y'all. Really did. And then I went on looking about how many of these are happening, these on camera. It's like these people just do not care about cameras. You used to never lock your doors, having grown up in the country. Exactly. Sure did start locking. Yep. Yep. We never locked our doors back in the day. We lived out in the country. I'm glad, Lee, because I'm glad that they take, yeah. Makes me wonder. Absolutely makes me wonder. Born ready. Good to see you. Don't be distracted when going to or leaving your vehicle. Watch your surround. Absolutely. I have that on my list of personal safety afterward, you know, after showing these. Yes, no earbuds in your ears. Don't look at your phone. Keep your eyes, back and forth. Check your situational awareness. Walk to your car. Don't unlock it until you get there. Don't only unlock the doors that you need to open. Always look for people that are around your vehicle. If you find something on your vehicle, don't touch it. It's very dangerous today. Grew up in the projects. We locked everything. Yeah, I hear that from a lot of people. All right. Next one, I definitely don't want to trigger anybody, but unfortunately it's happening. And so I feel like the right thing to do is to show you. 3 Web of Lies. Is there a private way? Yeah, you can contact me by email. Okay. Kids are home alone. They're older kids. They're not young kids. And this is what happens. Trigger warning. There's violence. Just want you to be aware of it. Yeah, 3 Web of Lies. I'll drop my email in the chat.
2 armed men burst into a house. It's a brazen home invasion. 2 armed men burst into a house in Pasadena, Texas. 3 victims are ordered to the floor. Then one suspect lifts one young lady by her hair and orders her to another part of the house. As the terrifying invasion unfolds, the parents, who are out for the evening, watch in horror on their Ring camera cell phone app.
Hey, who's in my house? I got you on camera. The cops are on their way. My neighbors are there. They're calling the cops right now. Y'all better get out of my house. Y'all better get out of my house now.
It is a terrifying incident. If you watch the video there, you can see what a traumatic incident it actually was.
Do you think the fact that they were talking to these robbers via Ring video, that had some impact on them leaving quickly?
As soon as that camera system activates and someone's talking to them saying, get out of my home, get out of my home, you can see how quickly they left.
That shook me to my core. I mean, I cannot believe how brave these people are, just busting in someone's house. Thank you for dropping that, Lee. I appreciate that. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to have all of these in a public playlist. People can go through and watch them. I want to show you, where's the next one's at? Okay. This one is from a couple of years ago, but I feel like it's a good one that shows kind of how it started. It's getting so much worse. Yeah, could you imagine checking convictions? I mean that's why I was shook to the core. Like, they're home, and the kids are home. They can see everything that's going on. I mean, I was shook when I watched that. Here's this one, Fremont home invasion.
Group of burglars caught on video breaking into a Fremont home. Police say these guys knew what they were after. KPIX 5 reporter Kit Doe is live in Fremont, and Kit, police saying they left behind some clues.
Yeah, Fremont police say they have no evidence that these victims are being specifically targeted. They think it's random. They also say the behavior of these crooks is troubling and very unusual, because it's unusual for them to show up with this many guys with this many guns all at once. This surveillance video was captured Sunday night at 9:45 p.m. at a time when police say the crooks were hoping someone was home. They quietly pushed open the double French doors from the backyard and snuck in using police-like tactics, making sure they had every entrance covered and constantly communicated with each other. And then they sat and waited, 5 of them, each armed with a handgun. This guy even had a high-capacity extended magazine.
Those guys meant business.
Oh, 100%. I don't understand why else you go into a house with 5 guys, each with handguns.
Luckily, no one was home, but the homeowner watched the whole ordeal live on his phone and called police. The robbers got away with some electronics and other valuables. What's more, investigators say another home invasion 12 days earlier happened on Hunter Lane, about a half-mile away. That time, a family was held at gunpoint. The robbers made off with more than $150,000 in jewelry and electronics. Fremont police say the two crimes are related. Detective Mike Gebhardt tells us everyone in the department has dropped what they're doing to focus on this case. Now Fremont Police's #1 priority.
There's also one suspect who has a very distinctive shirt on. We were going through shirts for hours yesterday trying to pinpoint where that shirt could have came from, hoping it's unique. We're just hoping to get a lot of eyes on that video and hopefully get a lead that way.
And investigators will be keeping an eye out for anybody trying to resell some of this rare and unusual jewelry that was stolen. And coming up at 6, we'll hear from the Neighborhood Association president who says he thinks.
Okay, let me show you this one and then I'll go back through comments. Okay, man attempts to kidnap child from Xenia school with drugged starburst.
All right, thank you, Caroline. We have new details about an attempted kidnapping at a school open house in Xenia.
Court documents reveal a man planned to use drugged candy to abduct a child from St. Bridget's School Monday night. 2 News reporter Allison Gans live in Xenia. Allison, what are we learning from those documents?
John Brooke, it was supposed to be a regular open house for St. Bridget's School. Students and parents were invited in to meet their teachers for the start of the school year. But one man decided to take advantage of those open doors, posing as a parent to get access to a child. Now, police on the case say they haven't seen anything like this before.
This is a unique experience. You know, I've been in law enforcement for 27 years, and this is the first time I've dealt with something like this.
According to court documents, 35-year-old Reed Duran of Fairborn entered St. Bridget's School during its Monday night open house, claiming to be the parent of a 5-year-old female student. St. Bridget principal Terry Atkins noticed something was off and alerted police. He told 2 News, quote, "I met the parent who he said he was, realized that the red flags were true, and I confronted him, got his true identity, and called police."
And the school did a fantastic job, and don't be afraid to say something. If you see something that strikes you as, yeah, that's not right.
The incident report says when police arrived on scene, Duran eventually admitted he was at the school to kidnap a child, telling police, quote, he wanted to touch the child like an adult. Duran voluntarily agreed to go back to the police department for an interview and was not handcuffed. In the interview room, Duran grabbed a pen from the table and attempted to stab an officer with it. The officer blocked the attack and handcuffed. During the interview, Duran admitted he had seen a photo and name of the child in the hallway. Information released by police Wednesday indicates there is no evidence Duran knew or stalked the girl or her family prior. Court documents say he made plans to give the child a Starburst candy drugged with tranquilizer and take her when she passed out. Police say there is no verification if candy found on Duran was drugged. At the end of the interview, Duran made an attempt to escape officers. He is now in the Greene County Jail. Xenia Sergeant Lon Etchison says there's days and weeks of investigation left to do.
The arrest with what we made was just the tip of the iceberg. Obviously, there's a lot of questions that people have. We're going to do everything we can to find answers for that.
Duran is being held without bond in the Greene County Jail. He is charged with attempted kidnapping, felonious assault, and felony escape. And now the Xenia Police Department would like to recognize Principal Atkins for his quick actions of calling police and removing Duran from the building. Live in Xenia, Allison Gann.
Let me get caught up with comments here. I've plenty more to show you, and it kind of gets worse as we go. Let me go scroll back up here quick. Yeah, I mean seeing your child in your own home, yeah, with armed men, absolutely. I cannot tell you how that shook me to my core. Absolutely. Yeah, there were two girls and a boy, sisters and a brother, that they had put face down on the floor. They grabbed one of the girls by her ponytail, dragged her to the bedroom where she was forced to, thank God, she knew the combination to a safe. But yeah, and you're right, they're supposed to be safe in our own home. We should not have to, but at the same point, the level of desperation that people have gotten, you know, have gotten to. I mean, apparently it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. It's very scary. Oh, Fremont, you're close to there? Girl, be safe, because there's so much stuff going on in California. There was a lot that I found. And this is almost all of the stuff is this year. It's all within the last couple of years. So it's just getting worse. You're right, people don't want to work. So this is what they're doing. Any way that they can get, you know, money or things of value from other people. One of your worst fears, part of why we left the city, having to use one of my husband's guns. Can't imagine having a child and teach them how to use a firearm, right? It's infuriating. Infuriating. At a school, yeah, the candy, that one had me sick to my stomach. Just the level that these people will go to get their hands on what they want, including our children. We should not have to live this way. It's shocking. It's disgusting. It makes me hate people in general. It makes me super suspicious of everybody. Like, don't come near me. That's right. I agree. We shouldn't have to live like prisoners in our own homes at all. Went to a craft show this weekend and I was so paranoid the entire time. Backpack leashes, yep, stroller, all the things. You just can't trust people anywhere. Absolutely. Because they're finding groups of people and targeting, you know, it's more common for kids to be kidnapped, either like isolated by themselves waiting on the school bus or walking home, or in a group of people. Like there's just no fear of being caught anymore. Well, this is how this world turns. Now is the time to take our lives, yes, into a safe way to live. Prevention is what we all need to learn and show others. Absolutely. And there's some things that I've been looking up, like door bars go across the doors that go to the outside. The same thing for windows, extra locking devices, shatterproof glass, like plexiglass that you put on the inside of your windows. And it sounds crazy ridiculous, but most of us would stop at nothing to keep our family safe. I mean, nothing at all to keep our children, family safe. Too many people live thinking this could never happen to their child. So, Mom, I say this all the time, that there's an umbrella of like, it'll never happen to me. And then when it does, because they don't understand that nobody is immune to tragedy happening to their family or their children. There are animals out there preying on children. Bad feeling to look over your shoulder all the time. It is. Absolutely. Got to be more good people in this world than bad. I've always thought that. Here lately, I question it. When I look at the number of people watching, you know, certain YouTube content creators, I don't want to call them content creators, tragedy pimps. I mean, they've got a full crowd watching their every move. So it makes me wonder if there really is more good than bad anymore. Yeah. Do you not think? Yeah. I mean, it's happening everywhere around us. And we've watched videos already, but there's more coming up where it doesn't even matter the neighborhood that you live in. It doesn't matter if you're in a rich neighborhood, if you're in a poor neighborhood, if you're in a well-lit neighborhood. It's like it doesn't even matter anymore. You know, they're showing up and going where they want. And I mean, I started to look up to see how many of them have been arrested, and it just got so frustrating. So I thought, let's at least keep it to this is what's happening so we can protect ourselves better. Yeah, when you're growing up, you used to leave the freaking country, leave the house unlocked. Yes, absolutely. We did too. And if somebody came in your house, it was a neighbor or somebody that you knew for a reason, but you didn't have to worry about stuff like this happening all the time. Absolutely. If I had a small child, you bet your ass they'd have a leash on. 100% they'd have leashes on. When Cody was little, there was no such thing, but absolutely. And here's another one too. Keep my little friend locked and loaded in the closet. Just had a home invasion 2 streets away. Wow. An old couple. I'm sorry, Valerie Ventura. That has to be scary as hell. But yeah, I mean, look up the gun laws in your area. And if you're comfortable and you don't have tiny kids in the house, if you can safely have personal protection, I think that you should. If you can safely have that without worrying, if you don't have, if you don't have children. I mean, there's too many instances where kids get their hands hold of guns. Yeah, too many people backing them too. But on the other hand, you can take every precaution and every camera and every lock and still not have everything covered, right? We can't be. I agree with you. I agree. I believe if we do everything we can to prevent, if there's people that want to get in, they're going to get in. Just don't make it easy on them. Not only that, but it gives you with cameras so that you can see what's going on outside, making your doors harder to get through, your windows harder to get through. You at least have, you're giving law enforcement more time to get to you, kind of thing. And yeah, this is another situation too. Released the arrest and release stuff that's going on. I just learned about it. I kind of stayed away from political issues, but I just learned about this. Yeah, even going shopping, get freaked out. I mean, you just have to have your eyes peeled at all times. Made a lease back then out of a phone cord and Velcro. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, a leash out of phone cord and Velcro. Whatever works, man. Whatever works. Someday I'll tell the story when we had home intruders. Oh my gosh. Get the gun before one jumped through the second story window. That's how scary. Several years ago, I bought my husband these big magnets to conceal his friends around the house. I thought he was just being a weirdo. It was a novelty gift. He might be right. Whatever works. Be practical, but you can't let worry steal your peace. Absolutely. You have to do everything that you can to provide the protection. But yeah, you can't live in fear. Not forever. Okay, so I have another one. I'm kind of easing into what could be the more triggering. This one's Hialeah.
You will only see on the one and only a frightening home invasion robbery. A couple ambushed and pistol whipped right in front of their own home. A Ring camera rolling when that violent attack happened outside the home in Hialeah. Let's go to local 10 News reporter Christian De La Rosa live now with this exclusive tonight. Christian.
Calvin, terror is the right word to describe what happened to this woman I spoke to and her husband, who are shocked they're even alive.
You have cuts on your forehead. You have a black eye.
This Hialeah woman doesn't want to show her face after her and her husband's brutal beating. The couple was just getting home from a night out on Saturday when they were ambushed.
No te muevas.
Don't move, says one of the attackers in Spanish. The couple tries to fight back against two armed men, but are slammed to the ground and pistol whipped repeatedly. One of the intruders goes inside the home, the other pointing his weapon at the woman and appears to pull the trigger, but the gun doesn't fire. The woman fiercely charges towards her attacker, throwing punches and taking him down. The violent robbers eventually flee the scene with this gold chain and a bracelet similar to this one, both valued at over $8,000. Hialeah police say they were able to identify Michael Diaz from a previous criminal investigation. Another tip led them to Yasel Ramos, both now under arrest. But police are still looking for the driver of their getaway vehicle. This four-door sedan seen here in the surveillance video parked across the street from the home. The woman telling us she can't believe she and her husband are alive. Frightening stuff. We're right off of 12th Avenue and Okeechobee Road here in Hialeah, where that getaway vehicle was seen. If you have any information about that car and the getaway driver, you're urged to call police, Hialeah police, or you can always call Crime Stoppers and remain anonymous. The number to call, 305-471-TIPS.
Okay. And then this is an elderly couple recorded on their Ring door cam. trigger warning, guys. I'm not trying to incite any kind of panic or anything. Just want you to be aware. As I am now, this was like shocking.
An elderly couple robbed at gunpoint in their own home, and it's all caught on camera. It happened on September 14th in Portsmouth, Virginia. Police there say 2 armed men allegedly entered the couple's home and forced them into a nearby closet. The entire incident caught on the victim's Ring camera.
Get up, get up, get up, get up.
Video shows 2 men entering and demanding the couple go into the closet. The woman goes in right away, but the suspects get angry when the man moves too slowly. The woman then returns to help the elderly man retrieve his walker.
Guys, this was like, this is infuriating and scary all at the same time. Yeah, I agree, Valerie. Desperate and greedy. I'm gonna let this play through.
When the man walks toward the wrong room, the intruders angrily point him in another direction. After that, video shows one suspect walking into an adjacent room as the other seemingly grabs the couple's cell phones from the living room couch. He then goes into what appears to be a kitchen area and takes something from the counter. Seconds later, he walks into the neighboring room. The suspects then leave as one carries out a safe. Officials confirm the pair also stole a wallet. The Portsmouth Police Department has identified the men as 25-year-old Michael Boney Jr. and 22-year-old Tyree DeMont Boney Jr. Both are wanted on charges of armed burglary, use of a firearm, abduction, and conspiracy to commit a burglary. Officials say Mitchell Boney Jr. is known to drive an orange 2017 Dodge Charger with the Virginia tag UBS 7788. Anyone with more information is asked to contact the Portsmouth Police Department at 757-393-8536. For the latest developments in this case and all things true crime, stay with Long Crime Network. I'm Sierra Gillespie.
Is that not scary as hell? It scares the shit out of me. Oh, here's another one.
Now, one of the scariest home invasions you'll probably ever see. 2 masked gunmen barge into a house with guns blazing as a mother hides in a bedroom trying to protect her 7-year-old son. Les Trent explains what happened next.
It's a heart-pounding.
Guys, major trigger warning on this one, please. I know we're all moms, dads. This one had me in tears. Just want to give you a heads up. Checking convictions. I only have a couple more after this, and then, like I said, they'll be on a playlist because I really don't want to trigger anybody. But it was just so eye-opening to me. I wanted just to bring awareness.
Home invasion. A young mom opens the bedroom door and is met by a barrage of gunfire. The drama started when a guest of the homeowners pulled into the driveway of a swanky home in Hialeah, Florida. 2 masked gunmen appear out of nowhere and force the driver inside. The homeowner is there with a bunch of pals he's invited over to watch the NBA Finals when the armed robbers burst in. They ordered everyone to the floor. Mom Ansley Pacheco was in her bedroom when she heard the chaos in the family room.
I said, don't shoot me, my son is in here.
Don't shoot me, my son is in here.
One gunman opened fire.
He started shooting at me. They shot at me about 7 times, 6, 7 times.
That's when she grabbed her handgun and fired back. That's when her husband and his buddy took the weapon from her and went after the thugs. Still in shock, the Pacheco family screamed in terror. Thankfully, no one was injured, but Ansley Pacheco's home is now riddled with bullets. WSVN TV reporter Sheldon Fox pointed out the number of holes.
In the closet door, in the bathroom door, on the headboard of the bed, and on the television.
The 26-year-old beauty is a model with a large social media presence, more than 160,000 followers on Instagram. It is not known if the gunman knew who she was.
They could have killed me. They could have killed my son. They were shooting right over his head. They didn't care.
Wow. Fortunately, no one was hurt. The suspects are still at large.
It's just crazy. Crazy, you guys. Absolutely crazy. This is why I want my stepmom to move out of her house since dad died, but the grief group said she should stay in the house at least a year. Now I'm freaked out. She only has regular locks. Yeah, I found some stuff that might be helpful to you. Arm bars that go on the inside of doors. I have them now. Let's see. But I should pull those up and show you. Look into the Pettit family in Cheshire, Connecticut. Home invasion happened back in 2007. There isn't any video, but it was horrific. Oh my gosh. Man, it's just it's happening so often. It is unseen. It's unheard of to me that people have they're this bold and brazen in broad daylight cameras. You know, it's like they just don't even care. They have no fear. Oh, thank you, Checking Convictions. I appreciate you. Appreciate that very much. Very much. I love your channel too. I lurk. I haven't really been chatting much because of some craziness I'm not trying to bring to anyone's chats and stuff, but I lurk quite a bit. Yeah, I can only imagine how traumatized this woman's son would be. Hey, Elise, no big deal. You might maybe restart it or something. I have to do that with mine all the time. If you can hear me. Let's see. I think I have just 2 more, and then we can. I can drop a link to the panel, or if anybody wants to. Okay, here's one. It's another trigger warning. These ones are all bad. If they get inside your home, it's just violent, you know. And like I said, these are the ones I'm showing you are the ones that are the least violent. Just keep that in mind. I was really trying to be mindful of, you know, not triggering any kind of anything for anybody. I just don't ever want to do that.
The video is terrifying to watch. A mom holding her crying toddler as a man breaks into their house. The intruder kicking the family's dogs and cats before turning to the bathroom the family was barricaded in.
Oh my gosh.
The terrified family eventually escaped that bathroom to find the house ransacked and full of blood. The suspect broke in through a window, cutting himself in the process. NBC2's Ryan Arbogast talked to the family less than 24 hours after the break-in. And Ryan, I cannot even imagine their fear.
Fear is the exact right word. Both mom and dad were literally shaking throughout our interviews. Now they just want to know why them.
Somebody slamming at my window.
When the guy started counting to 10, all I could think was gunshots are going to come through this door.
You're watching a violent home invasion captured on a family's cameras they used to keep an eye on their 2-year-old son, sharing video and speaking only with NBC2.
I didn't know if it was one person or 10 people behind that door. I didn't know what they were after. I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know if I'm going to get murdered, kidnapped, raped, or what. I didn't know what was happening.
18-year-old Alex Kalpop facing charges today. Deputies say he broke into a Golden Gate City home, shattered it, and climbed inside, beating the family's 2 pets. Son hearing it all while hiding.
Barricaded his body, like pushing.
Are you sure?
I was muted. Sorry, I'll tell you in a minute.
I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure?
Let me start this over so I can put closed captions on because I didn't think about how it might be low if you don't have earbuds in. This isn't in Las Vegas. A lot of people have already seen this. If not, I want you to see it because of how brave these people are. They're trying to get to women, children inside your homes.
Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? What? Are you sure? I just rang your doorbell because I have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? I just have a couple questions for you. Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain? Sure.
So who are you?
What? Yeah? Are you sure?
Who are you?
Hey, I just had a couple questions. I just wanted to ask you about APL.
Yeah, can you hear me? What I'm looking for is for the girl that's in the house to come out here because I'm going to rape her and kill her. Can you have her open the door? I'm going to rape and kill the girl that's on the other side of this door when she lets me in. I want to rape her and kill her because I have a knife and a gun. Yeah, and I'm going to knock on her door again. All right.
Are you sure? I have no idea. What?
And then he just walks away mumbling to himself. Absolutely insane, crazy. This is the last one that I have to show you. Like I said, the rest of them will be a public a playlist public. This will be the last one because it's another trend for getting into people's homes. So this is like 2.5 minutes ish. And then I won't be showing anymore because, yeah, I don't want to trigger people because it's super triggering.
News now. He said he was selling candy. Stockton police say that was a lie. A setup caught on camera. 3 armed suspects rush into a home, force the homeowner to lay on the ground and rob her.
Tonight, CBS 13's Madison Keevy is getting answers about what police say homeowners should do when there's a knock at the door. Madison?
Yeah, I'm in this neighborhood here in Stockton, a motorcycle there going by, and most of the homes in this neighborhood have no soliciting signs on the front door. Is it enough? Police say it's a good start, but if someone still comes knocking, to be alert. The man with the box of candy isn't who he says he is. Police say he's a fake. In Ring video released today, he moves out of the way of 3 other suspects who proceed with an ambush.
Them posing as candy sellers, I mean, it ruins it for the kids that, usually go door to door selling, for fundraisers for their school.
That's the voice of a neighbor who didn't want to be identified because police are still looking for 4 suspects in their late teens to early 20s. They're in this video running into a home at the start of an armed robbery. The 3 men get help from their 4th counterpart, who gets the homeowner to open up with the promise of a candy bar for a few dollars. Once the armed suspects are inside, the fake salesman puts a black ski mask over his head, but takes it off and walks away from the front door.
What if I had opened the door? What if I decided to, buy some candy?
That's the voice of the neighbor who got this Ring video at his house minutes before the armed robbery. Police say it's the same suspect, a man posing as a candy salesman.
But at that moment, nothing was going through my head. I thought they were just someone selling candy.
The neighbor reviewed this video and realized the man who was at his front door yesterday with a box of candy in hand likely was there to do the same thing. If only he would have opened the door.
When I had looked through the window, I noticed that his back was turned towards me. So that kind of tipped me off like, okay, something's a little bit suspicious.
That was the right move, according to police. Let the person come and go. Don't open the door.
You're in charge. And at any time you can say, no, you're not interested.
Now, what if you're unsure? What if the person has some kind of a company logo on their shirt? We're getting those answers too. Police say just don't open the door, and it's actually safer to talk through the door. And if you're really unsure, call law enforcement. By the way, in the last 10 minutes here in this neighborhood, we've seen a couple of officers from Stockton PD out continuing this very active investigation.
I've been getting. I thought that one was important to show too, because it's apparently trending. Oh, I hit the button. It's yeah, it's trending, luring you to the front door. And I'm not going to play them because I think that they're extremely triggering, but even just going to the door saying, who is it? If they know that you're on the inside, they try to break through your front door. I have several clips from news sources in this playlist where, yeah, they are they beat the door in. So I don't want to play those because it's just bad. But let me get caught up with the chat here. Yeah, want a shirt that says trigger warning. Absolutely. I don't normally, say anything about trigger warning until, it's something like this. I mean, you just never know what people have gone through and survived. Your dog would have ate him. Yeah, I had a wolf for years, almost 20 years. That would have definitely, for sure, messed with my dog or my pets. Absolutely. Gotta protect yourself. Oh, you're fostering. That is amazing. Checking convictions. What a gift. What a gift. That is amazing. Hats off to you. I think that's amazing. Sadly, we have a current abduction from tonight that I've shared on my wall. 6-year-old from Kansas. Let's pull that up and take a look at that. Let me pull it up here. Take a look at the wall. like I said, if I could do, you know, true crime stuff the way that you guys do, it would probably, I can't. I just don't have it in me. I don't know how you guys do it, but we would definitely will look at it right now. Here's Burden of Proof's page. And let me drop that link again for Burden of Proof. So everybody can go over there and follow up with it. Oh, wow. Wichita Police Department. 6-year-old Kennedy Reyes was located in Oklahoma by the Oklahoma Highway. She is safe and a suspect is in custody. She'll be reunited with family soon. The suspect will be transported back to Wichita. Was she was abducted just before 7 p.m. 2300 block of North Amiden Avenue. Was in a car. Oh my gosh. Thank God she's safe. Who knows, you know. I mean, bless her heart. I'm glad that they found her and that she's not deceased. At the same point, we don't know what she's gone through. And I pray that she's at peace. That's just terrible. It's just so much. It's so much. Yeah, the last guy at the door. I know that one is a couple of years old, maybe it was early last year. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that they know who he is by now, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know what happened after he left there. That was part of a Ring door cam, and I think the news just kind of, the Inside Edition picked it up. But I thought it was important just because it shows, you know, even if it is mental illness untreated, it still is happening all over the place. And so to me, it's like being aware, knowing the potential. You at least knowing means that you're better able to protect yourself and your family. Hurt her feelings when people balked at her size and moved away. That's funny. Yeah, way too close to the door. And he was just like, I want the girl that's in there, you know. Super anxiety. Super anxiety. I found the first one was an attempted abduction or attempted kidnapping in the state where I live at, local news, and I thought that's broad daylight. Like that's like morning time, you know. This little girl's going to school, and then I started looking, and it seems to be the common thing now. It's scary. Replacing our front door soon. Good. Good, good, good. Yeah, the bigger and heavier the better. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't find anything else on it. But there was 1.1 million views on that video. Never open the door for anyone we do not know ever. Absolutely. Now it's almost like don't even make a noise from the other side of the door, you know. That's it. I can show you several videos right now where they knock on the doors, and if they hear somebody on the other side, they try to get you to open the door. They need help. Can they use your phone? They've been in an accident. It's a girl, somebody's chasing them. And then whenever you open the door, boom, they come around the corner, several of them with guns, and they bust in, or they start trying to beat the door in. And yeah, it's crazy. You have guns. Yeah, they could shoot someone. Absolutely. They all carry guns and they have one thing on their mind. And it's just super scary. But it makes me think about, you know, all of these true crime cases, especially involving children, people that are being abducted, you know, whether it's children or not, but it's possible nowadays that it's not somebody that they know, that it's a complete stranger. I feel like before, when you would say stranger abductions are almost unheard of or very rare, maybe there weren't as many people free roaming the country preying on children or people that, you know, would appear to be vulnerable. Whereas now it seems like they're everywhere. So I feel like stranger abduction violence, you know, strangers perpetrated violence. I feel like it's more common because of all of the tactics and the number of them that are free roaming and have the ability to, you know, be unseen and unheard in broad daylight somehow. It's just crazy. I don't get it either. I really don't. I do not get it. It is very scary. Very scary. I'm afraid of the swan salesman. There's probably something out there about people dressing up as, you know, I'm not going to go look for it because I've had my overload of it. But it's like how the last generation used to hide from bill collectors. We are hiding from potential perps. Absolutely, 100%. 100%. It's insane crazy. I'm old. I've seen a total of 180 in the world today. I agree with you. I mean, I'm late 40s and huge difference. It's like waking up to a whole new world overnight. And it happened just a couple of years ago. Before that, this stuff was not as common. But like I've noticed on, you know, the couple of channels I follow that are not covering one case, but putting tons of information out there. Sleuth Mom, Burden of Proof can put they could put 10 each different, they each could put 10 different children that have gone missing every day. At least. It is all the time. There are children missing every single day. It used to not be like this, and it is now. It's just insane crazy. Insane crazy. I feel bad for the elderly as well. I mean, their whole life savings, you know, they're living out their retirement, and there's hundreds of people around their area preying on them, trying to take it from them. It's just sad. I think you're doing a life prevention instead of what everyone else is doing. Oh yeah, betting. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of giving them attention. I mean, I think I've come to realize it doesn't matter if you're talking positive or negative about them. Attention is attention for them. And as long as people are putting their names and their faces and their bad behaviors, they're going to keep doing it, and it's just going to get worse. But I'm sick of them. I said all disappear. I'm not kidding you. I think that they're just as bad for preying on people, taking advantage of people. I don't know why they won't get jobs. Like I don't. I did find some jobs for them though. Actually put some missing Idaho people into the press conference stream tonight. Yeah, because they have quite a few missing there. Hopefully someone from that area sees one of them. Yeah, I did. I noticed that. You do that quite often. You show more than one, which I appreciate greatly because people don't realize how often it's happening, because these channels that are getting all of this coverage because of the bullshit happening with the tragedy pimps. I mean, if they would start covering more people that are missing, more missing children, more if they would open their eyes up to what's going on outside of just those assholes on YouTube, other people, their audience would be more aware of what's going on in the real world. There are so many children that are missing every day, every single day. It's sad. It's like Amber Alerts anymore. People just hurry up and silence their phone and they don't even look at it. And it just doesn't get any better. The clown was funny, yes, but I just don't want to give them any attention. I'm sick of them, to be honest with you. I'm sick to death of all of them. Every one of them. I have no respect and nothing good to say about any of them because it's all that they want is people talking about them. And I'm done talking about them. I'm just done. If we need a good laugh one night, I don't mind, you know, showing how ridiculous they are. But after that shit that come out of Mallory's mouth, I'm done. They're intentionally triggering and being ridiculous for their own personal financial gain. And I'm done with them. I'm just done. That's okay, Lisa Levesque. I'm about done anyway. I just wanted to put that stuff out there. If I can't sleep tonight, I might come on and do catch up a little bit more, go over some other stuff, but I just really wanted to put this out there tonight. It's hard because I would love awareness on more cases, but at the same time, I don't think I want the families of more children to go through the speculation. Absolutely. That's the other part of it, 100%. There is no more, yeah, I agree. Anymore, it's not covering true crime or bringing awareness to people that are missing or children that are preyed on and missing. It's not what it is anymore. It's you put a name out there and there's people that are running with it, and they've got, you know, who's guilty, who's not, you know, it's just not the community that I entered. I didn't sign up for it. I didn't sign up to watch people's lives be ripped to shreds. It's hard. It's difficult. Don't get me wrong, there's times that we all need a good laugh, and making fun of them is pretty funny, but it's like crossing the line between, you know, for the most normal people, negative exposure or exposing their bad behaviors, you know, makes them feel some type of way. Either, you know, they either defend it, or they either defend themselves, or they kind of go silent or whatnot. Not these people. Any exposure is good exposure. And anybody who's in their audience who doesn't understand what they're doing by now, well, they're not gonna ever see it any other way until they're taken for everything that they have. And then, you know, it's just hard to have sympathy anymore because it's so out there. Absolutely. Mallory did it for me. That bullshit that come out of her mouth towards Brandy, that was it for me. And the fact that people in her audience thought it was funny, that's I am livid pissed off about it. I'm lividly pissed off about it. If that shit coming out of her mouth is okay to say about a missing child who she does not know, has never met, if it's okay to treat Brandy like that in the middle of her crisis, then that means every single person on this platform, in the audience, listening to that shit is fair game when their tragedy strikes. I cannot sit in that and be okay. I cannot, and I will not ever be okay with a total piece of shit loser who's never done anything with their life, who's capable of standing outside of a home for hours on end in the sun, walking back and forth, carrying signs, yelling. That means they're capable of getting a job and providing for themselves, but they're still sitting their ass on this platform begging for money. They're beggars. And all of this stuff coming out of her mouth towards Brandy, I'm done. I'm done with all of them. I don't want anybody who sits in their chats and participates and finds humor sitting in my chat. I don't want anything to do with those kind of people, because Brandy's pain is real pain. Brandy is living the worst days of her life, and it hasn't even hit her yet. What she's going through right now, she still is in that numb phase because no one has told her whether her baby is still here on earth or not. God forbid that day happen. When that happens, she transitions from shock and hope to now it's worst case scenario. And the people that have been supportive of her online, there's so many things I want to say about this as a bereaved mother, as a grieving mother. There's so many things that I would love to say, like to Purple's chat, Purple's channel members, not in a disrespectful way, in a like almost prepping her for that worst case scenario, because I see what's happening and it's hard to watch and remained silent because, God forbid, I do not want to see another parent get a phone call or have a police officer or a doctor or anybody sit in front of them and give them the news that their child is deceased. I don't want to see that, because you don't come back from that, people. You don't fucking come back from that. I'm just going to be blunt about it. You don't come back from that. It doesn't matter. Whatever is important right now will not be important after that, after she's notified of that. All the drama, all the people having negative things to say, it's gonna, she is asking for kindness. She's asking for privacy. She's asking for what should be common sense to the rest of us. The reality of it is she needs you to be strong when that conversation, if that conversation happens. That's when the strength, she's going to need people. I love Purple. I have the utmost respect for her having the ability to provide a safe place for Brandy, a place where she can come into that chat and what she's doing, in my opinion, when you're in your home and you're surrounded by grief and people that are also in shock, she's finding normalcy, human connection, human interaction, and a little bit of laughter. That's what she's finding. And I can't tell you how amazing it is for Purple and her community to have provided that for her, because most parents don't get that. And I think it's amazing. That's a safe place for her. It's a positive to all the negative shit that this platform has thrown on Brandy and her family. That's one positive. And I'm thankful and grateful and happy to know that Purple has provided that for her. There's not enough good things I can say about people in that chat that have been there for Brandy, have been an outlet. They've given her the laughs. They've comforted her. I think it's amazing. I'm more supportive of it than ever. When that phone call or that conversation, God forbid, if what we're led to believe is coming, if that's true, that's when the hard work really is gonna start. That's when the pain and the suffering and the agony that there are no words to explain, when that hits, she needs you more than ever, because you've been a safe haven for her and you've listened to her and you've held her hand through the difficult times and you've supported her and you've backed her, and you have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it. That's what she's going to need. And so I'm super supportive, but it's hard for me to listen to Mallory and those people, because when they're talking about Brandy, they could be talking about anybody. And if we accept that behavior as okay or comedy, if we accept it as that's just Mallory, then that sets the standard for anyone after that. And I can't ever be okay with that, because what Brandy is going through and will go through, God forbid, no parent should ever have to go through. And it's belittling grief. It's belittling child loss. It's making fun of anybody who is grieving. It's making fun of anybody who is suffering child loss. It's not comedy. It's not funny. And it's not to be made light of. And this is exactly why I wanted a channel to change the narrative and to change the way people view grief and child loss. It's not sympathy seeking. It's normalizing the conversations so that we don't go into isolation and grieve alone and hate life the rest of our lives. That's my goal here. It's my only goal here. I don't care about growing a channel. I truly don't. To grow a channel means more people lose their children. Nobody in their right mind wants that. I'll never be monetized. You'll never ever hear me ask content creators to drop links because I don't want those people. I want the right people who need to be here because they're struggling through their grief, because they need a place to talk about the hard things and feel normal. That's what I want here. I want people to come in because they want to talk about their grief and not have their entire room or house disappear because they're uncomfortable because somebody is talking about their loss or their grief. They can come here and do that. So to have these fucking assholes belittling the pain and suffering that Brandy is feeling and going through right now, I can never be okay with that. It's not funny. It's not comedy. It's not anyone's business. For Purple to have created a space for her to feel normal, to have a laugh, human connection, to know that people care about her baby, that people are there for her, that they care about her whole family, that they're going to talk about Monkey, that they're going to be there for her, they're going to hold. That is the most amazing gift that anybody can give her right now. And it will need to continue if, God forbid, we are led down the path that happens. She will need that more than ever. When the funerals are over and the ceremonies have passed and people have gone back to their spinning worlds, that's when the hard work starts. When you're left alone in the home full of memories, knowing those walls will never again echo the sound of that baby's voice. That's when the hard work starts. That's when the numbing starts to wear off. That's when she needs a community of people that have given her the ability to feel normal, to mentally step away from the suffering, give herself a break. Your brain pushes you to do that when it gets to be so bad that you don't want to live through it. At the moment that you want to lay down and never wake up. Most of us fear that suicide will take us to hell, which is not where our children are. But there are some who even that doesn't stop them from trying to take their own lives. Your brain pushes you mentally to find human connection somewhere, whether it's a conversation with somebody in a grocery store line or coming on YouTube. You've given this woman a gift that she can never repay. So after, God forbid, that phone call or that conversation happens, you have to keep going with that. You have to be a support system for her. You have to be there. You have to be, you have to. And Mallory can go fuck herself. Justice for All can go fuck himself. All of them are pieces of shit. And every word that comes out of their mouth against Brandy and Tyler and their family, all of the bullshit that they're putting this family through, if we are to accept that as okay, or just YouTube standards, or humor, dark humor, or whatever their excuses are, if we're to accept that now, we're allowing them to set the standard and the example for anything in the future. And if those kind of jokes and that belittling is okay for Brandy and Tyler and Monkey and their other children, then that means it's okay for my deceased son and anybody else's deceased children. That means my grief is funny to them. That means everybody else's grief is funny to them. And I will never be okay with that. As long as there's breath in my lungs, no one will ever belittle and devalue grief, ever. Not ever. I've got a box already. I've got a box of things already for Brandy. I've never spoke to her. I know nothing more than the majority of people on YouTube. The difference is I've never pointed my finger at parents or family members. I'm not law enforcement and I don't investigate anything. I'm human. I know what it's like to lose a child. I have what's called Vilomah packages. And I put those together, and I've started one for Brandy, and I've started one for Tyler. And God forbid that day comes, I know I can contact Purple or Level-Headed and say, how can I get this to them? Until then, it sits in a corner of my office, and I pray for them. I pray for them every day. I always will. It's terrible, but the belittling has got to stop. People go into isolation and they grieve. They grieve isolated, which makes it, oh my God, so much worse. Can you imagine walking into a room full of people that you've known for years and years and years? Friends, you've talked about your children, told stories about your kids. You know their children's names and they know your children's names. Can you imagine walking into a room and every time you speak your child's name, everyone in the room walks out? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine this entire fucking platform acts like parents get a call from some mysterious figure that says, how many kids do you have? 3? Okay, which one can you live without for the rest of your life? That they have a say-so, that they get the decision. Nobody calls and asks your permission to destroy your life, to crack your soul, to file a hole into your entire being and fill it with empty darkness. Nobody asks your permission to disrupt your entire life, to wreck you from the inside out. Nobody asks that. Nobody asks which child. Nobody asks anything. There is no decision. Like Brandy and Tyler were not given the option to beg for Monkey's life in exchange for theirs. They weren't given that. Nobody gave them that option. Nobody asked Brandy or Tyler what day would be good for you for your child to come up missing. That wasn't a conversation that they got to have. Nobody asked them that. They got no say-so. They got no warning. They got no heads up. They did not know. They had no idea. Because we take life for granted. We take moments for granted. We love our children with our entire being, but we also have life and responsibilities, households, jobs, financial responsibilities. Nobody gave them the option. They didn't get any choices because I assure you, as I'm sitting here breathing air, Brandy and Tyler both, just like you, me, and every other parent in the world, would have begged and pleaded to trade places with him, with Monkey, given the opportunity, but they weren't given the opportunity. So to stand in judgment of how they grieve, when they grieve, where they grieve is wrong. It's not okay. Especially people who have never carried a child within their body. They've never felt the pain of giving birth. They've never named a child, watched that child grow up, seen a personality develop, knew what their favorites were, watched through all of the firsts. None of those things. Betty, nope. Justin, nope. Jonathan Lee Riches, damn no. None of these people, not fucking one of them, not one of these son of a bitches have ever lived through being a parent. They've not been parents. And they have the audacity to take someone's worst day, worst moment, worst year, worst part of their life, and their loss, their baby, their child was taken from them. And these fuckers have have the audacity to stand in judgment because Brandy goes on the one place where she can find a little bit of laughter, a little bit of normalcy, human connection, human interaction, where she can lay her feelings at her feet and step away for just a moment. And I promise you, she doesn't step away for longer than a couple of moments, because although it might appear that she's having a good time while she's enjoying the laughter that Purple's channel provides her, I promise you, it's hard for her to fight through every breath. She's doing it to save herself. It's a mental respite. She doesn't even have control over it. The brain knows when the body is going to shut down. The brain takes over. These people stand in judgment of that? Are you kidding me? How dare they stand in judgment? This woman is surviving the unsurvivable. She's overcoming what we are not meant to overcome. At no point do we find ourselves so encompassed with such a devoted love to a human being like we do our child, our children, and then they're taken from us. We're not supposed to survive that. But then to go over a year not knowing where they are, nobody, not me. I grieve my son every day, and I don't have the right to question Brandy's grief or to question Tyler's grief or to lay judgment on them because it's different or not different than what I'm familiar. None of us have the right to do that. We're human, and we haven't lived their life. They haven't lived our life. We know of them what we've learned from, seeing them, listening to them. And if you listen to Brandy talk and you find anything other than pain and suffering and fear in her voice, you need to check yourself. You need to go somewhere and check yourself. Brandy's not the problem. If you listen to her words and you see the despair on her face, begging for help, finding her child, crying out for her child, the amount of love for her child, the fear of what's happening, where he's at. If you see anything other than fear, grief, despair, frustration, anger, worry, dread, if you think it's laughable, go to the fucking doctor and check yourself in, because you are the problem. Brandy is not the problem. Tyler is not the problem. You monsters are the problem. Dare you walk an hour in the shoes of that woman, you wouldn't survive it, I assure you. That woman, we think she's strong. She is strong. She doesn't feel strong. She feels like she's falling apart from the inside out. We know how strong she is, and you guys have done an amazing job of reminding her how strong she is. You've done an amazing job reminding her that not everybody out here is after her or wants to hurt her. You've done an amazing job giving her human compassion, human interaction. You've done an amazing job being friends with her, understanding her, giving her a place to go, respite, whatever you want to call it. You've done an amazing job. Amazing. It's the first time I've seen it on this platform. I think it's amazing. I think it's wonderful. I think it's deserving. I think that you are kind, beautiful people for allowing her a place to put her hat away for 10 minutes. You're encouraging her to always not give up. You're reminding her that she is the mom, that she forgot who she was before Monkey came missing. She is stronger than what she will ever know. She has the battle of her life on her hands. There are so many words I wish existed in the human language to explain the pain. It's not just mental, it's in every aspect. Her whole being is shook. after those ceremonies, God forbid if they have to happen, I have no doubt that the same community that has been helping hold her up will continue to do that. You can't stop now. She's going to need you. And I have no doubt that you'll be there for her. To the rest of those sons of bitches, there is no place in society for people who act like that towards a mother that's going through the most excruciating, debilitating, god-awful suffering. If you find humor in that, you are a fucking monster. You deserve nothing good in life. There's no place for you among the rest of us in society at all. If you can find dark humor, light humor, any kind of humor, you are a fucking waste of space. I find it completely offensive that there are people that are awaiting organs and you have perfectly good organs working in your body. Brandy's an amazing human. She's gifted the world stories about her child. She's shared facts and stories and laughter, beautiful moments of Monkey's life with the rest of the world. That's a gift, not to be taken for granted. It's a gift that should be treasured, respected, and understood. She didn't have to do that. And she doesn't owe anybody anything. She doesn't owe anybody answers. She doesn't owe anybody details. And if you're asking for those, you're part of the problem. It's hard for me to even get on YouTube anymore to see. You just can't stop. I mean, you can scroll through your homepage, whatever you want to call it. And there's several videos of these monsters that just find humor in the broken spirit of a mom right now. We as a society can't accept it. We can't. You damn right they deserve so much better than what they've received. They deserve so much better. And the saddest part, the worst part, for every mean, hurtful, ugly thing that has been thrown at them, every accusation, every lie told on them, every laugh directed at them, every finger pointed at them, every pile of shit that's been tossed upon them, they'll live with that for the rest of their life. Those words will never be undone. The feelings will never go away. And you can't go back in time. You can't go back in time and redo it. You can try to apologize, but do you think after ripping someone's soul out that an apology will make it better? It doesn't. Not even a little. There's nothing that these fucking monsters can say to take away the damage, the long-term damage that they're going to cause. Because see, when we grieve our child, it's another level of grief. But to say things like calling them bad parents, okay, the guilt, my son died in an accident. There was no nefarious criminal activity. It was just an accident. And the guilt that I had for not being the right place at the right time, for not being Superwoman to be able to fly, miles down the road to prevent an accident, the phone call that I made that changed the events of time that could have contributed or could not have contributed, the guilt that I had, it was tough. It's still tough. It still haunts me. But to have had half the fucking internet standing in your face, telling you all the things they think that you did wrong, that you're responsible, that you didn't do it right, you weren't the good enough parent, you failed him. Those things will absolutely prolong their grief from the get-go. You don't have to tell a parent who's lost a child that they failed their child. You don't have to tell us that. We fucking know that. We know that. You don't have to tell us that. Even when those of us have not we've not done anything to cause our child to die, including Brandy and Tyler. They didn't make a conscious decision or an unconscious decision to lose a child. A fucking animal showed up and took their baby. That's what fucking happened. But every parent who watches their child lay in a casket, go into the ground, we all have our own levels of guilt, conversations, lack of conversations, bad birthday parties, you name it, all kinds of guilt. What they've done to this family, to this couple, there's no rewinding it and no undoing it. They're already starting off against the odds when it comes to their grief, meaning every word that's been said to them, about them, or at them, they have to jump through that hurdle before they start grieving. So welcome, congratulations to you fucking animals. You've caused so much harm and damage to two people who once again never got a phone call. No one asked them which child and when. No one asked them what day was good for them. And no one gave them the option to beg to exchange their life for their child. That didn't happen. We know they're not to blame. They're not at fault. We know that they're good parents. We know that they love their children. My God, have you seen Brandy stand and answer interview questions? How could she do that when we know we wouldn't be able to do it? But she's doing it. She's fighting for her son, and she hasn't stopped. She's a force to be reckoned with. She has strength beyond our imagination. She is a hell of a woman. She's a wonderful mother. She's not perfect, but she's doing it perfect. She's doing it perfectly. And nobody, not a single human being, has the right to stand in judgment of her. To see it happening makes me sick to my guts. It makes me angry beyond anything. The example that's being set, if we don't stop it, it's going to continue. And if you're part of them, if you're part of the animals doing it, you could be next. Doesn't matter how many super chats you send to Betty. Doesn't matter how many cash apps that you send over to Molly or Jaundice for All or JLR or Olivia or any of the rest of them. Doesn't matter. Dolly Vision, you can send him all kinds of PayPals. You're not buying yourself protection from tragedy. When it's your tragedy, you don't really have the right to ask for privacy and grace and respect and kindness when you have not afforded it to another person. If you find humor in the words coming out of those people's mouths, if you think their actions are funny, if you can sit back and laugh, find it even a little bit humorous, or even sit in a fucking chat, and you think it's okay because it's not you or your sister or your neighbor or your cousin or your mom or your child, that's not okay. You're participating in it. You're participating in the absolute disgusting hurt and pain and suffering that's being thrown on another human being that doesn't deserve it. Doesn't deserve it. Done nothing to deserve it. So if you're clicking on their streams and you're giving them a view, you're super chatting, for financially supporting them, you are as guilty as they are. You are as accountable as they are. You are as big a piece of shit as what every one of them are. 100%. I don't like you. I will never like you. I will never respect you. I find nothing good about you either. I would prefer that I don't have to share the same society as you. You're all pieces of shit. All of you. If you support that shit, you deserve whatever life throws back at you. Because nobody's immune from tragedy. Guaranteed, you will bury somebody that you love and care about and cannot imagine living the rest of your life without. It will happen to you. And again, nobody will call you and ask you when and who and what's convenient for you. It will just happen. And you don't have the right. You don't have the right to ask anyone for what you're not willing to give to people that you don't even know. You're just not. Disgusting human beings. Completely disgusting. Brandy and Tyler deserve support. They deserve kindness. They deserve friendly faces. And if you can't be any of those things, then you should shut the fuck up and stay away from them and go somewhere else and not speak of them. They're just trash. That's all I got to say about that. I will go down a whole nother road. That's as composed as I can be about this subject. It's infuriating. Absolutely fucking infuriating. Mm-mm-mm. Absolutely. As if they don't tell themselves enough. I mean, the things that they have going through their own head are too painful for the rest of us to even think about. And they live with this. I mean, I truly wish the words to describe just what I know about child loss, just what I know about how I felt, which is different. Everybody is different. Every child is different. Every parent is different. Every relationship is different. And every situation is different. Nothing is ever replicated by anything else. But just what I know, I wish that there were words to describe the agony, but there aren't. There are no words. They're not there. Nobody's created them, and I don't even know how to do it. I couldn't begin to do it. I don't want anyone to know what they feel like. I don't want anyone to ever experience it. But by God, if they do, if that has to happen, if that is the situation and there's no getting out of it, I'll support them. I will be a safe place for them. I will encourage them to talk their feelings through. I will listen day or night, 24/7, because I know what grieving in isolation and alone feels like. I've done it. Did it for years. I talked to no one. Didn't know where my phone was half the time because the world doesn't want to see you because you're now a walking, breathing, talking billboard for every parent's worst nightmare. That's what you become. I don't want to see any parent try to go it alone, including Brandy and Tyler. This world has not been kind to them. It's about time people shut their mouth, go somewhere else with their fucking shit. If they can't drop the facade, apologize, or at least attempt, toss some understanding, then go somewhere else. Don't be seen and heard. Fucking animal. Piece of shit. There's no way anyone on this platform can ever try to undo the damage that this platform has done. I feel responsible for the fucking bullshit that Mallory and Dolly and Betty and all of those other people, I feel responsible for what those fucking monsters have done. And I would never, you would kill me before I stood in judgment of a parent who's going through their own personal hell. And I feel responsible just by being on this platform. It feels gross to me now. It just feels gross. Brandy and Tyler need support and kindness and love, dignity, respect, patience, grace, all of the things. And I'm so glad that Purple has a space for them. I could not be more thankful. I just lurk. I lurk to see somebody going to be a fucking asshole. I'm going to write their name down. I lurk like I'm on the outside looking in, looking for the signs that Brandy may need a little more support. And then I've got resources and books and journals and websites and links to send to Purple. I lurk to see, are people coming at Purple a little too hard? Are they taking her focus? Are they, are they being a little too much for her? Because when you're the support system for somebody whose child is deceased or presumed to be deceased, that is a role all in itself. When you're the support system, I don't want to see you fail. I don't want to see the world come at you, because you're giving Brandy a safe place to land, a place to go and be heard and be seen and not be judged. And that's so fucking important. That is so important. That is the most important thing when you're the support system. So for people to come at her and bring all this drama to her doorstep and force her to deal with it, I lurk to see, do I need to send, some resources or outlets to Purple? I lurk because I don't want people to grieve like this. This is not okay. It's not okay to watch somebody's whole world be ripped out from underneath of them and then have a bunch of fucking wet sheepdog looking fucks standing around who've never been a parent passing judgment on a woman who is barely holding it together, but it exhibits the amount of strength that only God can give you. There's so much about Brandy that should be an example for other parents. She has never given up on her son. No one has ever taken her focus in another direction. She has steadfast stood in knowing that her son was going to come home. She didn't plan for this. There was no plan for this. This was not planned. And to watch her go through it is torture. How do you have a heart? How are you human and have a heart and have the ability to care? And you choose hatred at the very moment people need understanding. If you can't help by being helpful and putting Monkey's face and his name and the details out there, if you can't do that without hurting his family and his community, then fuck off. Go somewhere else and don't talk about him. It's that simple. It's so simple to those of us with a brain. But to hurt Brandy or to hurt Tyler means you're hurting Monkey. That means you're doing damage to his memory. That means you're hurting his case. And you don't have the right to do that. You don't have the right to do that. But what you're doing is taking away oh my God, every time you fucking monsters post a video talking shit or putting lies out into the universe, every time you do that, you're putting yourself above this baby who is lost. I don't care if you don't like his parents. If you look at Brandy and can't find a reason to respect her, I don't care. Just keep your mouth shut. But every time you put a video out there where you're slandering this family, accusing them of the unthinkable, you're judging their every move, every breath. Every time you do that, your video is going to be seen when this baby's name is typed in to a search engine. You are belittling this baby's life by doing that. And that's not okay. It's not okay to do. You don't get to do that. It's wrong. This mother, the worst possible thing that could have happened has already happened when it comes to taking her hope. This mom had hope to cling on to. I talked about this like a week ago. Regardless of what we think law enforcement is preparing for, when they said they were moving equipment to this address and that they were, I can't even say the words, to the yard, we knew what that meant. But Brandy had hope, and she had hope to cling to, because until the day or the second or the moment that somebody, an official, says your child is deceased, you fucking have hope, and you live on hope. Hope gets you out of bed in the morning. Hope gets you to the sink to make dinner or breakfast for your other children. Hope gets you to the vehicle, takes you to work to pay the bills. It's hope. Hope is all that you have. Hope is your gas. Hope is your currency. Hope is your life. Hope. When that hope is taken from you, what else do you have? You have nothing. You have nothing else. When they took this mother's hope, only a demon could do that. Somebody full of nothing but evil and hatred could do that. What pissed me off the most, I'll be honest with you. We all know these monsters and how they operate. We know, because we've seen them go from case to case to case doing this shit. But I'm going to tell you what threw me over the edge and put me in such a foul-ass mood that I would have welcomed Mallory Williams to my front door. Sure would have. Was her fucking videos. You know how I always say I see things from the other side of the fence? When I watch some of these behaviors and these videos and these people, because I've buried a child, I see things a little differently than what the average person does. I say that all the time. I've tried to, I've tried to be transparent about how things are so different on the other side of the fence. Things that were important no longer are. Things that were never important suddenly are. Everything in your whole life is totally different. Which is why I say, God forbid, when Brandy gets that phone call or has that conversation, she's going to need her community of people so much more than what she does now. But what fucking put me over the edge and made me almost violent, I felt violent inside. I didn't act on it, but I felt violent. Every fiber of my being, to the core of my soul, I felt violent. Because when I watched that fucking pathetic human being make videos mocking Brandy's pain and suffering, mocking what Brandy's going through, I saw the joy on her face doing it. The bitch had pure joy. She loved talking. Though every word coming out of her mouth, she loved it. She knew what she was doing. That, to me, was worse than the words coming out of her mouth. The fact that Mallory smiled and laughed and danced in her seat, to me, that was almost worse than every fucking word that come out of that pathetic ass mouth of hers. She's nothing more than a disgusting human being who's been a beggar her whole life, deserves nothing good in life. She's worth there's no value in her. She has no value in this world if that's the best that she can do when people are going through their worst, absolute worst, the worst moments that don't end. Brandy and Tyler woke up to the worst moment of their life 480 something days ago, and they've not been able to get away from that worst moment. This has been the worst moment, the longest moment, and it's just got worse. I don't know how. I do not know how Brandy can be so strong and kind and compassionate to still ask for people to be kind after what you people have put her through, after the hell that you've thrown her into, after all the pain that you've thrown onto her. I cannot fathom how this woman can still ask for people to be kind to each other. That's a testament to who she is, not who we are. As Mallory's acts of fuckery are the worst I've ever seen on this platform. They've taken it to another level. And I take it personal. It's not about me, but I take it personal because I'm on Brandy's side, bitch. I'm part of Brandy's army. I'll be Brandy's support. I back Brandy. I back Tyler. Not because it's the right thing to do or the kind thing to do, but because they are the right people. They are the kind people. They've done the best that they could do with what life has given them to do. They don't have all of the answers, so they can't give all of the answers, but you're not even entitled to the answers. You made a mockery of their son, made a mockery of them, you've made a mockery of their loss, you've made a mockery of everything. Yet your life is something to be mocked. Brandy and Tyler, who've been dragged through every mud hole, everything possible, they've been dragged through it, and they still stand and ask for people to be kind to one another. They've not judged anybody. They've asked for people to leave their case alone, to leave Monkey's case alone, and you people still want to go and pick at it because you think you're entitled to it. You're fucking evil. You motherfuckers are evil. And I hope that Brandy and Tyler know that there is an army of people behind them that will not abandon them, that will not walk away from them. Your grief will never be too big. Your sad will never be too heavy. Your burden will never be only yours to bear. There is an army of people who you have never met, who have never said hello to you, and you don't know a single one of our names, but we are behind you 1000%. We are fighting with you and for Monkey and for his memory. All of the things that are important to you right now, we are here fighting for you and with you, and we will not stop. And every word that they say negative to you, about you, damaging you, about Monkey, they're saying it about us too, and we're not okay with it. We're not okay with it. Their day is coming. Their day is coming. I just really hope, whatever it is that they truly believe in life, these fucking animals, whatever higher power they do or don't believe in, the universe, whatever it is, I hope that it wakes them up and it teaches them how to shut their fucking mouth, how they don't have the right to judge when they've never walked in the shoes. Never. Sad. Pathetic. People that find pure joy in tearing another one apart when they're living their most painful days. I just never imagined people like that would have a platform. And I'll tell you again, if you sit in those chats, you financially back that, you click on those videos, even because you're being nosy, I don't care. There's no excuse. You partake in it. You are participating in it. You are the problem. And I don't want you over here. I don't want you anywhere around. I have nothing for you. I think you're just as disgusting and evil, despicable, worthless, pathetic as those people are. You're just as bad. You put out just as much evil hatred. You're hurting a family just as much, just by sitting in the chat, by super chatting them. And your day also is coming. Before long, you won't have a place on this platform where you're welcome. I just can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see you be kicked out of every chat because nobody wants you around, because you're evil. Because it's not good to be so mean and evil to people for no reason. Because what? You enjoy it? That makes you even worse. It's all that bad. So, tirade done. I've been sitting on it, journaling about it for so long. Hey, YouTube Dumpster Firefighter, good to see you. Yeah, I did too. It was like, what the man? I don't think it gets much worse, to be straight up with you. I think that we're seeing the worst of humanity. I mean, there's serial killers that actually find remorse in themselves, that actually learn right from wrong. Serial killers, serial rapists, you know that? There's people out there that have habitually offended and habitually hurt people. And at some point, they learn what they did was wrong and not okay. And they try to apologize. They try to make amends. They change their behaviors. They repent, all of those things. These people have never done that. They keep getting worse. Think about that for a minute. Think about the level of evil. And I will say it forever. Grief is never to be made fun of. If you aren't strong enough to handle somebody's grief, then just stay away from them. Yeah, like, and there's no reason for that, you know? Like, that was the whole reason. And she, you know, oh, it's just so disgusting. Very special kind of hell. And I hope that they all end up in it. All right, so I'm going to end this live and head over to Jenny Jen's. Let me see if she's still on. And then I'm feeling pretty okay tonight. I had some headaches and stuff going on. But if I can't sleep, I'll probably maybe jump back on or something and do an open panel conversation for anybody that wants to come on. I think I'm going to go. I'll be over there in her chat for a little bit, get some laundry and stuff done. Then if anybody's up for an open panel later or something, I'll do that later. And then talk about some other stuff. There's on the replay, click those links that Sleuth Mom has dropped in the chat. Those are some important stories that need to be talked about and shown. Oh yeah, harassment has a big definition. I believe you. I got you. I'll be back later. Jump on panel, we can talk. But I can't talk about this stuff with those people for very long. It really puts me in a very violent mood. It's a lot. It's very triggering. I take it very personal, and it's not easy to carry. So I just can't really talk about all of that stuff because that's what it does to me. I'll go cry for an hour now. So Sleuth Mom, thank you so much for helping out. I appreciate it greatly. Those links are also amazing. Thanks for just being here. But I hope everybody has a good night. I gotta go chill out. I gotta go sit in like Zen for a minute. But thank you, Burden of Proof. I appreciate you tonight too very much. Thank you. I'll see everybody in a little bit. Have a good night. Oh, wait, Crispy. I must have missed something. Where's it at? Okay, I have your number. I'll text you right now. Crispy, are you still in here? Okay, I'll check for that too. Is Crispy still here? I missed something. When I get on a rant like that, a soapbox, I can't. It just comes out. I don't even pay attention to the chat that much. And I'm sorry, but that's just a topic I can't not. I try really hard, but I can't. If Crispy's still here. Oh no, her nephew. Oh shit. Okay. I will email, or I'll send you a text right now, Crispy. I'll send you a text right now, and then we'll figure out a time, and then we can do a live stream. Whatever you need, I'll just let you tell me. But I will, as soon as I end this live and I go to the bathroom and wash my hands, I will text you, and then we'll go from there. I'm not really sure what that's about. I'm really avoiding all of the extra drama. I can't tell you how all of this stuff going on with Mallory and all the shit that she said and the way that I can't tell you. Dolly, with Betty, with Molly, with all of these people have put me to they have thrown me to another level of anger with the treatment of people's tragedies. And it is not just triggering, it's infuriating. So I'm avoiding drama on this platform because I feel like I'm walking on thin ice right now, meaning I'm getting close to that 10. I'm at the 10. I can't take any more over it. So I don't, if there's drama or anything, I think you're talking about Laura's Discord stuff, but I'm not positive. I just tell everybody I can't really, I can't really take on that much. I have to be very careful. But I'll be back later. I just need to unwind and get some of it out right now, and then we can talk about other stuff later. I think you're talking about Laura's Discord, but I'm not positive. I don't want to even say anything else. Yeah, I just need a couple hours to unwind and get it out, and then everybody can come back and we'll laugh and joke and carry on or whatever everybody needs. So thanks everybody. Love y'all, and I will talk to you in a little bit.